Maybe that's a good place to start.
Come to England or like Canada or something for a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the
Well,
border isn't open yet.
Once Delta variant's a little more under control, we would like to go to London and stay with Jenny.
Yeah,
We're gonna go to Japan, but they need to open their borders first and get through this whole weird
they're
Olympics thing
having another
that they're
outbreak
doing.
right now.
I know, and this Olympics thing is just a bad call. They should just postpone it. Let them have it again in 2024.
Yeah.
You know, just let it push everybody forward 4 years and just reset. But they won't do that. So, but no,
Speaking
we
of
might.
hellscape through a
We,
crystal.
that's right. Speaking of hellscape, nice segue. This is the Lindel tea leaf one shot, brought to you by Mother's trippy hovel magic, whatever it may be.
Sponsor.
Yeah. So you, Lindell, were sucked into a crystal ball. Pretty much. Last time you went with short expectations down to sub two. You met Mother. She might have been a little weird, a little kooky. Um, but she did some magic. She said some things. You guys all went and found your places, so to speak, around the room in different reflective objects where she told you to look into your reflection, which you did. And creepily enough, it responded. It At first, you tried to resist, but then a hand shot out of the reflection, grabbing you by the throat and tugging you in and thrusting you into the void. Um, I don't know if you took psychic damage or not. I failed to write that down.
I do have damage on my character
Yeah, I
sheet,
think
so
you and Safkeen, I think,
yeah,
took some
because
psychic
I
damage.
definitely failed my saving throw. I remember
Right,
that.
right. So
Yeah.
you already took your psychic damage. You don't need to worry about that. But you got a little bit of a headache. Now that you're floating in this endless void of just blackness, not even darkness. It's just void of anything. And you see a small point of light approaching from behind as you turn around. And it starts to grow, rapidly approaching until it fills the dark void around you, and you're again confronted by your reflection. But now you are the reflection, cast in a purple light. You stare up at the real you in the room where you once were, and it's bowed out, concave. Behind Lindell are your friends, also transfixed on their reflections. And when you look back to your horror, the real Lindell smiles. But you're not smiling. She reveals a hand from behind her back, clutching two Taroka cards, and reaches them through the crystal ball to you. You hear Mother's voice echo in your head, giggling. Don't miss it! What would you like to do?
Um. Hello.
Your voice echoes, hello, hello, hello.
Are you? What are you?
The other Lindell, almost completely shrouded in the purple energy that separates you from this veil on the other side. Um, the other Lindell reaches through it, just covered in it. But the tip of the Taroka cards begins to pierce through the veil, and you can see the purple begin to shed for the black and white surface of the cards.
I meant to take a card, aren't I? This is super creepy.
Creepy, creepy, creepy.
Okay, I'll take a card.
You peek through your fingers, reaching up and grabbing the cards. And when you grasp them, you're thrust backward into the void again, your reflection disappearing into a tiny speck. Then there are two more points of light to your left and to your right. They approach quickly at the same time, growing into the outlines of doorways covered in patterns and shapes. They rotate slowly to reveal their opposite sides, two giant Taroka cards looming on either side of you like a trapped room with the walls closing in. The two images merge at your feet like a parting line between two worlds, one foot planted on either side of two existences, to your left and to your right.
And there's just two, like, the backs or the fronts of two Taroka chords.
Fronts, so they rotated and the fronts collided, and now there's this parting line between these two existences, one on your left and one on your right. And you look at your feet, and they're on different terrain. Which would you like to go?
Can I tell anything about either side?
Yeah, which one do you want to look at first? The left or the right?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Look at the left.
The left. To your left is a grand hall made of wood and checkered marble. Tall windows decorate the walls, and the moonlight beams down at an angle on either side. It illuminates various displays of artifacts housed in glass cases. You see spectral creatures drifting in and out of the darkness, patrolling the room. It's both exhilarating and terrifying to think about exploring this dangerous but potentially priceless place. You see another beam of light from a skylight in the ceiling, casting a silvery glow on a display case at the far end of the room, beckoning. Behind you is a doorway, crowned in deep mahogany, leading to the other card.
And to the right.
You turn and step back through the doorway.
Oh, so sorry. I've got one foot on either side,
Hmm.
and I literally just turned my head.
Gotcha. Turn your head to the right.
Yeah.
There is a dense jungle canopy hanging from the ceiling of an upside down city that's in ruins. You're in the middle of an ancient place full of all varieties of plants and the calls of the animals that have reclaimed this urban landscape. They echo through the broken walls and crumbled archways that hang above. Looking down, your foot is planted on a thick husk of bright green vine that loops down through a stone wall and back up above you. Peering over the edge and ahead, you can't see ground, just a cloudy fog. You see the hint of a trail leading from arches and vines toward a larger structure of some sort in the distance. You hear a screech underneath and feel the vine shake, and the light becomes dimmer for a moment in the fog as it passes below you. Something massive with a long tail and wings flying through the fog. It's hot, humid, and treacherous, but the hint of gold glowing on the stone structure ahead excites you. You could make out more details if it weren't slightly obscured by the dense brush and vines. Behind you, the same door frame, there, standing awkwardly amongst the ruins, the mahogany frame leading back to the museum. Which way would you like to go?
Is this all in the crystal ball? Is this in my mind? Is this in the cards? Well, best not overthink it. What do I know best? Hmm, not really one for jungles. And big things with wings are not really my specialty. Probably best to go thinking about, maybe one of those glass cases are open. I guess we'll find out. She goes into the museum.
Okay. You step inside the museum onto the cold, checkered black and white floor. There are 13 wooden pedestals about 4 feet tall with glass cases on them. They're lined up in twos throughout the 90-foot wide by 125-foot long museum floor. The ceiling is about 40 feet high, arched with glass skylights. A moonbeam shines on the display furthest away from you down the middle. Looking back, there's the same arched doorway made of mahogany leading to the jungle canopy.
And you said something about ghostly sentries or something like that?
Would you like to try and see them?
Well, yeah, she's just standing in this room with a door behind her, is that right?
That's right.
Is there any sort of like is there like curtains on the side of the room or like pillars or something or any sort of
Roll
like
a
cover?
perception check for me.
Sure, absolutely. Perception and go. 24.
24. When you step out onto the white tile in front of the door, you feel your magic wane. Looking out into the room, you do notice that there are 5 or so visible spectral figures. They float over the white tiles, then disappear over the black ones. And they seem to be avoiding the light of the moonbeams that are flooding through the 10 windows, 5 on the left and 5 on the right.
And avoid moonbeams. Avoid white tiles?
They float over the white tiles, then disappear over the black ones. And they seem to be avoiding the light of the moonbeams.
Okay. Um there isn't anything else in this room though. Like the wall what are we talking about for walls though?
Well, let's go ahead and take a look. If you'd like to go to your roll 20, I
Sure.
will show you what you see.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully the dynamic lighting isn't screwed up.
Oh, yep, there we go.
All right. Let's switch cameras there. Okay. So I've got it up on the screen too. Ooh,
Ooh,
fancy.
fancy.
Yeah, a little cutscene. Ooh. It did like a little fade in. Okay.
Technology.
Okay, so don't move your character. You do have control of it, but when you move, the fog of war adjusts. So
Oh,
right now you are standing on a white tile,
right.
and you feel your magic wane.
I think this is part of the puzzle, so I'll write this down too. Black tile. I'm on a white tile or black tile?
White.
White tile. Start. Magic Wayne. Okay. And just are the I guess she's standing here. Are the figures paying any specific attention to her right now, or are they just
No,
still doing their
not right
work?
now. They're still just moving, kind of floating, like patrolling.
Okay. She's going to wrap the cloak of the bat
Mhm.
around her. Um, and she's going to use an action to try to polymorph herself into a bat
Okay,
using
very
the
good.
cloak's magic and not her own.
Very good. Okay, so you wrap the cloak around yourself. Do you have to roll some kind of a check to see if it
Nope,
succeeds?
just does.
You turn into a bat, and now Lindel Bat
Okay.
silently, not squeaking.
Yes, it's like sticky bat.
Yeah, you flap about 4.5 feet off the ground, just hovering there.
With the bat. And she's gonna fly up. So you said it was 40-foot ceilings.
That's correct.
So yeah, so she's gonna fly up 40 feet,
All right, you
like
fly up
right up to the
40 feet.
ceilings.
hmm When you
Um,
fly up, when you get to about 30 feet up, you can feel your magic return.
about above 30 feet.
Mhm. And when you fly up, also, you notice there is a second story, a balcony
Oh,
that wraps around. It only has a single arched window above the doorway where you currently are. Down
very
below, it looks like there is a narrow hallway, maybe about 10 feet wide. that wraps around this lower floor.
Okay. And the ceiling, is the ceiling patterned at all? Or is
No, the ceiling is like a barrel arch vault like this. And there are skylights in the top surface. Although the view out of the skylight that's closest to you is just black. The
okay.
moonlight is coming through the one that's furthest away from you.
Um hmm. And so she's got her blind sight active, her 60-foot blind sight
Okay.
from being a bat.
Right. Okay. So let me go
Um,
ahead and adjust that on your character real quick.
Thank you.
Your vision goes to dim light 60.
Well, it's 60-foot blind sight, so I'd
Oh,
imagine it'd be
blind.
like, yeah, so it'd be like bright light 60 feet would be like, I guess, a roll 20
Let's
equivalent.
try that. How's that look?
Ooh, yeah, perfect. Lovely.
All right. Okay, so now you can see there are several spectral figures that are patrolling from your view, and I can ping where they are. There's one here,
Yeah,
one here, one here, one here.
okay. Um, awesome. So I guess in her, like, right up by the on the roof, she's just flapping along the roof of the domed archway.
Yeah.
She's just gonna kind of fly. Um,
Actually, I'm going
oh,
to change this. Instead of normal bright light, I'm going to do it as dark vision so you can still see the moonlight.
sure, sure, sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll keep the bright light around you because I think that's good, but I don't know how to do the night vision is what they call
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you,
They
absolutely.
couldn't use dark vision. I guess it was copyrighted or something.
Well,
All right,
it's
let's
probably
try
because they use
that.
it for other games too, I think, right?
Yeah, can you still see the moonlight kind of coming in?
I can, yes.
Okay, good, good. I might refresh mine because the light looks a little strange. Give me just a second. Come on, reload. You can do it, roll 20. And let me move this back. Gosh, the dog is going crazy. Can you hear him?
Vaguely.
He's a barky boy.
Aw. Oh, there
What
he
a
is.
barky boy. Okay. A little bit more. Still can't quite see it all. There. There-ish. Okay, very good. Okay, so you're
Okay,
up on the ceiling.
now do you still want me, just to be clear, do you still want me to tell you like what tile I'm flying over?
Yes.
Okay.
So this isn't going to work like normal. It's kind of like a game of
This
what
is
would
like
you
a
call
game
it?
of chess. It's more
Uh,
of like a puzzle.
dragon checkers. That's
Very
probably about the best that Lindel's done is played like instead of dragon chess, dragon checkers.
sure, sure, sure.
Okay. So it's like a game of dragon checkers. You move, they move.
Okay, okay, I gotcha. So she, yeah, 40 feet up in the air, just a little bat. Lindell's flying. My instinct is to go to the right.
Okay, so you go one tile to the right.
So she's gonna go. Can she move diagonal? She wants to move
Oh
because
yeah, you can go up into the
she
white
knows
one.
what happens to the white, so she
Mhm.
doesn't want to change it. She just wants to go here for her first move.
You sure do. You move there. You notice that the ghosts all move as well, almost in sequence. This one's going here. It's gonna go here. Go here.
And when they're over the black tiles, they disappear. I can't see them when they're over the black
That's
tiles.
that is correct. Now you might be able to see some of them right now. More than outside your vision, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay.
Ready?
With that perception check, I would say you kind of see a little shimmer when they go over the disappeary tiles.
Okay. And this is an interesting question because so as a bat, she's seeing with blind sight, right? She's seeing with sound and not with her eyes.
Right. So it's
Uh,
like your echolocation bounces off something
yeah,
that's on that
she
tile.
exactly. She's still picking up something that's there. Okay,
Right.
gotcha.
Yes.
So she's just gonna keep moving diagonal. for
Okay.
her next move.
When you move to this tile, and let me move the rest of these guys real quick.
All each there's specific tiles. And the balcony is just around the. Oh, it's at the very back of the room. Is that what it is?
Yes,
Okay,
the very back. Okay. So when you get to this tile, your eyes focus. There's something small and fuzzy, and it's brown, and it's dangling in front of your face. When your eyes focus, you see a tiny spider dangling from an invisible web from the ceiling.
Ah.
The spider peers into your eyes, and you feel it try to pierce your mind. What do you do?
Oh, that's a tiny spider. Is it Kumo?
You're not sure. It's a spider.
Like, this is an important question. Mm,
It's a spider, but I mean, it could have been. There's a spider. A lot of spiders look alike. And Kumo's just a pet, not a familiar, so it's not
yeah,
really the same kind
no.
of.
Kumo has that little shape of the brigand on his abdomen, though.
Mm.
He has that
Well,
symbol
I
of
mean,
mysterious grasping.
it's usually with you, so you check your cloak, see if Kumo's on you.
Yeah.
You look and you don't see Kumo on you.
Okay, so then she won't resist it.
Okay, yeah. Um, the spider swings over to the ceiling above the nearest pedestal on the right, and it lowers down toward it. In your mind, you hear the name Kumo, and then Newgate.
Okay.
You look down, and the pedestal has a symbol on the side of it of a ship and a quill. It's the same as what you've seen on the cover of the Spiralia Trading Company magazines. And there's something inside the glass case that resembles a rope.
And what were the symbols on the pedestal again? Sorry.
Let's see. Symbols on the pedestal, on the pedestal, on the pedestal. Um, a ship and a quill.
Ship and a quill. Kumo Newgate. What is Newgate? Makes me think of One Piece, but okay, okay.
It doesn't make you think of a candy bar.
No, it makes me
Mm.
think of Newgate.
Delicious nougat.
Nope. Is that an American thing?
Nougat? You
I know
don't
what
know what new?
I know
Oh,
what
okay,
I
okay,
know what
okay.
nougat is,
I
but
was about to freak.
Newgate.
Oh no, no, no. Newgate is um. Roll a history check for me.
Okay, 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 cool.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know if Lindel knows what that is
I
either.
mean, maybe, maybe. I mean,
she grew up.
you
She
know what
grew
the
up with a
word
witch.
"new" and you know what the word "gate" are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You're not sure what it means in relation to the spider and this rope.
yeah. Okay, well, she'll. And it's my move again.
It's your move.
Okay, she'll move one more diagonal square up to the
All right.
pedestal
When you
onto the.
move into this square, you feel a blast of cold wind blowing you backward toward the portal, and the ghosts drift again, and then all of them disappear. The specters drift over the black floor tiles, all disappearing, and the temperature drops till you can see your breath. The moonbeams dim a bit, leaving you in the room. So I'm going to push you back a little bit towards the door, and then I am going to hide all of the spectral figures. If I can find them all. There's so many. Okay, it is your move again.
Okay, so she was flying up in the air by the ceiling, and she kind of flies to like hover over beside the pedestal, and a cold wind pushes her back. Is that
That's
right?
correct. That is correct.
Ah, that's weird. Okay.
And the door is still back there, slightly open. You can see
Well,
the jungle on the other side.
she'll move one square up diagonal right to the Kumo square
All
because
right.
that was fine.
Yep. You move in a little bit more. When you get closer, you hear Kumo say, "No, go left. Go left and up the middle."
Do you need to move the figures or is it my turn again?
You can go ahead and go if you'd like.
Well, he said left, so I guess she'll move on to a black tile?
Okay. You move on to the black tile. You feel. Oh wait, you're up on the ceiling. Never mind.
Yeah.
You're up on the ceiling. Um, you still don't see any of the ghosts, but you do hear a ghostly voice saying, "I sense an intruder."
Oh, fuck.
And then you hear the voices of maybe a dozen people going, "Intruder."
My instinct on the white tiles, goodness. So she immediately moves on to a white tile.
Okay, you move up onto the white tile. You hear Kumo again in your mind. He scurries into the darkness. "They can't find you. Follow me. Left and up the middle."
Okay. Well, sure. I guess she hears this little spider's voice when she is on white tiles and scary, spooky voices when she's on black tiles. So she's going to avoid the fuck out of black tiles. So she's going to keep flying as a little bat along the ceiling. And she's going to follow the path of the white tiles as best she can. So her next move is there.
Okay. One moment, please. I have to do a little bit of upkeep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no. I'll wait. Spectral feeder. Can't get Kumo new gate. Pedestal ship quill. Glass case, there's a rope.
Okay, I think that's correct. All right, upkeep complete. So you moved on to the white tile. There in the center. Roll another perception check for me.
Sure. Oh, and I guess now I'm a bat, so I have to.
Use the bat stats.
Yeah. 30.
Yeah, you see a lot. Um, we'll just say you know the location of all the ghosts. So, the first ghost that's closest to you is right here on this black tile.
Okay.
There's another in the corner behind this pedestal. And then the next closest ghosts are way up the path, one here and one here.
Goodness.
The rest are a little out of your range. You also see down here on the black tile, Kumo descends down onto the floor. He touches down about 10 feet away from a circle in the floor, like a groove in this black tile. It's about 25 feet away from you and down 40.
Hmm. Okay. Interesting.
You hear
Um.
the ghost, the same one that spoke before, reply. "I will find you and you will never be alone again."
The bad ghost.
And then you hear all the rest. "Find her."
Can I see what's in these pedestals? Or do I need to get closer?
You'll need to get a little bit close. Well, with a 30, I can give you a little bit of information since you're right in the middle. At least the ones that are close in your vicinity.
Yeah,
One
I'm not. Yeah, the
moment.
ones like these ones are much too far away, I think. But
Okay, so the first one on the left, um, that is the one that had the ship in the quill
first on
and
the
looks
left or the right?
left.
Oh, okay.
That's the one that had the ship in the quill and looked like it had a rope in it. The one that was right below you on the right, the first one there,
Hmm.
there's a symbol of a pyramid and a sun and something round and golden color sits on a pillow under the glass case. The one on the left, the second one up, um, there is kind of a swirling cyclone shape that's over a swirl. And the thing inside of it looks like a specialized dart of some sort. It's sharp and it looks like it's a thrown weapon. And then the second one on the right side is an interlocking sun and moon. And there's a what looks like a case inside, a metal case. It's pretty large, like maybe half the size of a treasure chest, but kind of thin, not too tall, like clamshells open. The rest are a little bit too far to see.
Mm-hmm. What on earth? Okay. Well, I know black tiles are bad. White tiles are okay.
You hear in your head again, take the path of the moonlight. Stay in the shadows. And you see Kumo little legs go up to that hole where the rim is and then just slip inside the rim and disappear in the floor.
Take the path of the moonlight. Stay in the shadows. Okay, well that could mean a number of things. The path of the moonlight could mean path straight on, or the path of the moonlight could also mean moonlight being white, stay on the white tiles.
As Lindel Bat flaps around trying to think about it with her mammalian brain not quite gathering all the clues, you hear the ghosts again. The main one saying, "You can come with us on adventures now, with me and your father." And the rest of the ghosts respond, "Come with us."
Now she's freaking out. Uh, um, okay. Well, Kumo is on that black tile. And I know there's a ghost right there. So she wants to. She's. Um. Okay, well, she's gonna move to this tile for right now.
Okay, you feel your magic wane again. Or no, you're on the roof. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, she's up top.
You're way up top. Okay.
She can't do any magic as a bat, but
Sure, sure. You do see one of the ghosts reappear as it goes over a white tile here. Um, and also up here, you see one emerge as it goes onto a white tile. The rest, you don't see. And it is your move again.
hey, the ghost, it's quite a bit closer now. Does it seem to be facing towards her, or just kind of like vaguely drifting in a downward
It's
direction?
facing the door, drifting in a downward direction.
Okay, it's not facing towards her. Okay, that's
No,
important.
it's not.
Okay, so then that means white tiles are probably still good. So she's gonna fly over to the next white tile in the
Okay.
center.
When you fly over this tile, I need you to make a stealth check for me.
Sure, 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 sure. Stealth. Here we are. 15.
Oh my gosh, I don't have my dice. Un momento, por favor.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
A DM without his dice. What is wrong with me?
It's okay. You just wanted me to not die from these ghosts. It's
I
cool.
can
I
I can
appreciate.
never I can never tell Jenny that she's unprepared ever again. Okay, let's see. What are we doing? Oh,
I rolled
you
a
did your
stealth check.
stealth roll. You did 15.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right. You move there, and doesn't seem like there's any reaction. You do see the one ghost over that white tile drift over to the black one and disappear.
Right.
Let's see. You see one over here reappear on this white tile, pretty close to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see this one drift back and disappear. And I think that's it. Okay, it's your move.
Okay. Um. Let me see. Well, I guess she wants that one to disappear, so it's on a black tile. And that one's appeared, so it's on orange. Kuma was here, so she's going to move to this white tile, flying up as a little bat.
Okay. Yeah, you fly over that tile. You see this one reemerge on a white tile. And this one moves and disappears behind the pillar. And you see one other reemerge up here.
Okay, so
It's your move.
she's looking. So she's flying up in the air by the roof, and she's looking 40 feet down with her blind sight at this tile. Is this still an illusion, a real thing of a little spider here on this tile?
The spider. Oh, is there an artifact on there?
No,
Looks
no, no.
like
I
there's.
just threw that as a reminder to
Oh no,
myself as to
no.
like.
The spider had already scurried down. You saw it scurry down the kind of seal in the floor,
And there
so
was
to
like a
speak.
hole or a ring or something on this
Yeah, it was
tile.
like a seam kind of around, like a circular, like a manhole almost. And the spider just kind of disappeared down the seam, crawling underneath the floor.
All right, it's her turn.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Gonna move up to here.
Okay, you move up to there onto the white square. Go ahead and roll another stealth check for me.
Stealthy little bat, stealth bat, you can do it. Ooh, 20. Good
20,
job,
very
Mr. Bat.
nice. Okay, very good. All right, you see the rest of the ghosts disappear. They all disappear. Okay. Now that you're right above it, you think that you could probably, swoop down pretty quickly to get to it if you'd like.
Mm, uh,
It does seem to be in a little bitty patch of darkness.
the like to swoop down to this little
Mhm.
thing. Okay. Um. mm, can she see what's on these pedestals?
Yes, you may. Go ahead and roll perception check.
Bat perception go. 29.
Oh, no problem. Yeah. So on the one on the left, you see an intertwined serpent and a rainbow.
So
And
third left,
yeah,
intertwined,
serpent and a rainbow.
serpent, and a rainbow.
And inside there looks like there's some kind of a square metal box. And on the right side, there's a symbol of a piece of wheat and the sun. And inside the pedestal is a piece of shimmering fabric.
Inside, shimmering fabric.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. So she'll swoop down to take a closer look at this black tile.
Okay, go ahead and move over the black tile. All right, your magic is unaffected as you swing down towards the tile. Do you want to touch down on the ground?
Well, what is it? It's a little manhole cover.
Yeah, so like Mission Impossible above it, it just looks like there's a seam in the floor where maybe something can be lifted up or pried out, like a hatch.
Uh, okay, and she couldn't like as a little bat squeeze into it.
No, unfortunately. It's enough for a spider, but not enough for a bat.
Hmm. Can only do this once per day, so she's just taking a minute just to make sure that she wants to lose her bat form. 1 second here.
Mhm.
Uh,
Now that you're floating right above it, you see the spider peeks out again and looks at you from the crack.
hmm.
It's not your real mother. Don't let her find you. And crawls back in. And then you hear the ghost again. Follow Trevor. He will lead you to your parents. And the rest of the ghosts reply, follow. You look back at the doorway that's still peeked open towards the jungle, and you see the head of a yellow python with red eyes appears at the edge of the jungle in the arched doorway. Peers through the creek, or through the crack in the door.
Okay. Says Trevor's parents. Okay, okay. So she'll she'll drop her bat form,
Mhm.
landing on this tile, and she'll just kind of like shoulder check, shoulder check, shoulder check, quick, and then
Okay.
try to like lift up the tile.
One last stealth check for me.
Okay, and now that she's in her person form again, she gets advantage on stealth checks.
Yep.
Uh, 24.
Well, you lucked out. They rolled a 1 and a 5, so
Doesn't really
you
matter
think you are
much. Cool, cool, cool.
you think you're sufficiently hidden. You don't see the ghosts, but you don't sense any of those shimmers either. You're pretty confident at this point.
So yeah, she lifts up the tile, I guess.
All right, reach down, roll a strength check for me.
Oh fuck. Strength check. This is not her specialty. Oh, 13.
Very
14 minus
nice.
1.
Just enough. You're able to pry it up, and when you do, you've got just enough that you could probably try to slip under it.
Sure, sure, sure. Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
Yep.
Yep.
You squeeze in and slip underneath, lowering the manhole down, as now you're in just a completely dark shaft that's underneath the floor. There's a old stone, dusty hallway with cobwebs that just leads straight forward. It's only about 5 feet wide by 5 feet tall. In your dark vision, you can see a
Oh,
spider.
she doesn't have dark vision anymore.
Or sorry. Oh, you don't have that. Okay.
No, because she's not a bat, so she
So
just
you're
has.
blind.
Yep. Yep.
You're blind. It's completely dark.
Okay. So yeah, she drops down into the darkness, and she just kind of just stands there, just for a quick moment, just waiting to see if something happens.
Okay. Yeah, you hear a whisper in your ear. Get to the artifact at the end. It is the beginning. Many will follow. They will make you powerful so you can fight the cultists and find your parents. You sense something. Roll a Arcana check for me.
Okay. Ooh, 19.
The floor tile right in front of you. There's some kind of a strange aura about it.
Okay.
You hear the ghost above. You're going to get hurt, caught, or worse. Worse. You can hear the door maybe about 60 feet away from you. The squeaky hinges beginning to shut.
The mahogany door? I don't know.
Don't know.
Okay. All right, Lindel, if. And then she's going to take another second, just if any more creepy voices are going to talk in to her.
Watch out for traps.
Goodness.
Follow the moonlight. Don't get caught. Find the first. The rest will reveal themselves. You stand in the darkness underneath the floor, wondering what lies ahead. What would you like to do?
Mom taught her not to take risks when she was by herself. But Dad was a little bit more brazen. Can't do anything unless she can see what she's doing. Can't give herself dark vision or anything like that right now. So, she doesn't have any items that would. Oh, that's interesting. And the little sort of funniness that she sees in front of her, is it on the ground or above her?
You're in complete darkness, so you're not sure,
She just
but
senses
it's in front.
Okay. So then what she'll do is she has in her backpack, she has one of her fairy lanterns that she's
Okay.
made.
Yeah.
So she's going to pull out one of her fairy lanterns so that she's got some light.
Okay. Yeah. You cast a little bit of light. The tile in front of you is made out of that same white stone, but it encircles the entire 5 foot passage. Beyond it, it extends down in a 5 foot hallway. What seems like the rest of the way down to the other end of the museum.
Does it still go black, white, black, white, black, white, black, white?
Yes.
And is there anything to like the right or left or behind her, or is this just like
No.
the start of the passage?
Just above you is the kind of circular manhole.
And does she see any? This is kind of an interesting question, but so the light would only give her, I think, like 40 foot of
Mm.
vision. But can she see at the end of this tunnel any sort of anything at the end, like closer to 60 feet?
No.
No,
Just looks like more
just
hallway.
blackness.
Yep.
Mm, can do that. Lindel's gonna fish out of her backpack. She'll just pick out a copper piece.
Okay.
And she feels really bad for doing this to a copper piece because they're very valuable. Um, but she's going to cast light on the copper piece.
Okay.
And she's just going to hack it as hard as she can down the hallway.
All right. You cast light on it and you throw it. Go ahead and roll a strength check for me.
11.
11. You manage to get it about 10 feet, and it goes tink, tink, tink on the black tile in front of you and sits there.
Shakes her arm, be like, well, I never was really good at throwing things.
So it lands and illuminates a little bit more. Does light give you 60 feet of dim,
Light does. Uh,
or is it 40?
20 foot bright, 20 foot dim.
Okay, so 40 total.
Yeah,
Okay, so 40 from here. It doesn't get you any further than
yeah,
your,
no.
yeah.
Okay. She's trying to decide. In the back of her head, the the dimension door is just kind of like tinkling in the back of her head as a magical option. Um, but she doesn't know if she wants to try that because that's a bit much. Um,
You could dimension door to the next black tile, or the furthest black tile you can see.
yeah, maybe what she'll do. She's on a black tile right now.
Yes,
Okay, and there's a funniness coming from the white tile.
right in
Um,
front of you.
yeah. So here's what she's gonna do with the little coin giving her a little bit of light. She's going to dimension door. She's almost out of fourth level spell slots. Nope, 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 nope. Never mind.
Not gonna do it?
No,
Okay.
no, 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 no. It's too much. Too much magic for right now. Just gotta consider all your options before moving. Some sort of funniness. Let's see. Do we have any sort of other abilities we can use? We can turn invisible. Um, help us. Ring of animal influence. Pearl of power. Oh. Flippers of spider climbing. She's going to walk along the wall and like be standing on the bottom of the manhole.
Okay.
Gonna pull the cloak around her, and she's going to step along the roof
Mhm.
over the next tile.
Okay. Yeah, you step into the next tile. Roll a dexterity saving throw with disadvantage for me. As all of your magical items lose their power and you start to fall off the ceiling,
Oh,
your boots stop working and your cloak stops working, and you just fall about 4 feet onto the ground. When you do, something magical erupts. You roll your dexterity saving throw.
yeah. 16 with disadvantage.
Wow, that's really good. 16 with
She's
disadvantage.
quite
Okay,
dexterous.
that's really good. There is a little bit of a pulse of magical energy, and evocation magic just bursts into a sphere of cold energy, dealing let's see, 7 points of cold damage to you. And you are not frozen, but very, very cold and frosty in this non magical space.
White is non-magical.
Roll another history check for me.
Okay. History. Plus 0. 4.
Yeah, good to know. It sucks. This place is trapped.
There's something weird about this place. Who knows?
I don't know why, but
I
it's
don't know
weird.
why. It's weird. Sounds about right. Okay, so she's on the ground. She kind of like
Mhm.
shakes her cloak, tries to like wipe the the um the ice crystals off. She
Right.
looks at her lantern that's black right now, so she can't see anything either.
The lantern's gone. Yeah, it's just blackness, and you're so cold. And
Yeah, gets off the tile and just maybe it's worth the dimension though. No, you can do it, Lindel. Just you can do it. Just buck it up. Just one tile at a time, I guess. So she moves on to the next black
Okay.
tile.
You move up to the next black tile. Your boots come back. Your cloak, you feel the magic come back. Your lantern has been extinguished, though, so you're still in darkness.
Oh, like permanently extinguished?
Well, it has to stay lit, and the magic was gone. So,
Is her cloak like demagicaled?
no, your cloak still functions. Your boots still function. But the lantern, when it was, I guess its magic was lost, it went out.
Cost a lot of money to enchant. Mm. Fine, she'll just cast regular light
Okay,
on the
yeah,
lantern.
you cast light on the lantern.
Mm-hmm.
A little spark of energy lights the flame again,
Oh,
and it's back to what it was.
so white tiles equals non-magic. Black, but there is a magical trap on a non-magical square. It's interesting. Oh, nothing to do but keep going forwards. Um,
You want to check for traps?
sure. Yep.
Okay,
Sure. Yep. That's
investigation.
+0. 13.
13. Yeah, the next tile is probably trapped.
Probably is trapped. Cool. 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 Cool.
Yeah, it looks like there's something strange about this one
Something
too.
weird about this one. And
Yep.
she can't like jump over the. Well, she doesn't have a very far jump.
You can try.
Mm,
It's your strength roll plus something.
uh,
Because you can't get the running start, so I think you can only jump
yeah, like your strength
your strength
score. That's
score.
so she
Yeah.
can jump. She can jump 8 feet.
8 feet would be enough to put you
Yeah.
across. Yeah.
So okay, so that's what she's gonna do. You know what? You know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. Um. Well, we don't. Oh, that's just
Just for the hell of it, roll an athletics check. It's not a high DC.
okay. 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 Yeah. 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 She's gonna try to jump. Oh, sorry. It's a 5.
Okay, you take a little bit of a wrong step and step backwards into it. It erupts again. Roll a dexterity saving throw.
Yay.
Another evocation spell.
Quick save. Natural 20.
Very nice. You managed to dodge and do a little duck and roll, but you do still take 6 points of fire damage as a fire sphere erupts over this square,
Points of fire.
singeing you a little bit.
Okay. She was thinking about it, and now she's
And now
absolutely gonna
you're
do it.
on the black square, the
Yeah,
next
she
one up.
moves into the black square.
Right. So
Okay.
distance.
She's
You
gonna
get 40 feet. Okay. Yep.
yeah, 40 feet of light.
Hmm.
So she's definitely gonna do. She's thinking, okay, she wants to cast enhance ability on herself.
Okay.
Would it
Do the
be?
same thing with
Is it
enhance
always
ability.
yeah with jump? Is it?
Okay.
Is it going to be a strength based checks or dexterity based checks to jump?
Strength,
Strength
because it's
based. Okay.
athletics.
So she'll give herself bull's strength.
All right. You give yourself bull strength and roll another athletics check.
So she can normally jump 8 feet. Roll with advantage. Athletics check. Natural 20.
Natural
Woo!
20. No problem. You jump, leaping to the next black tile.
Okay.
Nothing happens.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just gonna try to jump
Keep her
again.
going. All right. Next jump. Go ahead and roll an athletics check. Oh, wrong step. Backwards again. Roll a dexterity saving throw.
Now, this is not with advantage, but 9.
9. Okay. You take 9 points of thunder damage as there is an eruption. You do make it to the black square, but you do take the little bit of damage, and you hear the ghosts again upstairs responding. We'll find you. Find her. Now, at the edge of your light, you can see up the ceiling, about 35 feet away, there is another um, like manhole, porthole in the ceiling, and
35 feet.
and a wall where the tunnel ends.
Okay, okay, okay. Oh, and then I have to make a concentration check to see if I drop enhanceability or not. Took damage. Oh, and a drop enhanceability. Cool. Cool, 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 cool,
Yep,
cool, cool,
yep,
cool,
yep,
cool.
yep, 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 yep.
That was a spell slot. Anything else I can do to make sure I get past this a little bit better? I could do the dimension door thing, but that's a fourth level spell slot. I don't know how many of these trials are going to be. Yeah. No, I don't know what's at that time. It's better safe than sorry. Yeah, she's going to cast Enhanceability on herself again. Gives
Okay,
herself full
enhanceability
strength.
and athletics check to jump.
16.
16, easy enough. You jump to the next black tile.
Okay.
Okay, now you can see it very plainly. There is another porthole that leads back up to the
On the
surface.
final white tile there.
On the black tile, about 20 feet ahead.
Okay, she's going to try to jump again.
All right, athletics check.
16.
16, you managed to pass again. And there
Okay.
it is, 10 feet away.
One last jump.
All right, one last jump.
15.
And off you go. You're on the last black tile there at the end of the tunnel. Looking up, you see the porthole.
She's going to still concentrating on enhanceability, so I'm just going to put this little marker on her token so I don't forget. There. So she's going to douse her light.
Mm-hmm. You douse the light, you're now in darkness.
She's going to open up the manhole and just see what she sees.
So you walk up onto the ceiling and you kind of pry it apart, looking out. Directly in front of you, about 10 feet, you see the pedestal that is bathed in a beam of moonlight from the skylight above. You don't see anything else. Roll
Okay.
a perception check for me.
This is not with advantage, it's just a straight roll.
Okay.
Oh, it does matter. 29.
There are staircases that lead up to your left and to your right against the wall.
Um. Okay. So I can do magic on black tiles, but the ghosts can see me on black tiles. If I'm on a white tile, I cannot do any magic, and the ghosts cannot see me. So, better safe than sorry. Let's move on to a white tile. Just gonna
Okay.
step out of the manhole and onto the
Yep.
white tile here.
Step onto the white tile and you feel your magic wane again. Your boots, your cloak. Roll a stealth check for me.
Is with advantage. She's. Oh, no, not because the cloak is not working, so just straight
Mhm.
roll. Oh, same.
26.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. Right in front of you, there's a 4-foot pedestal. If you get up on your tippy toes, you can just see over the edge of the glass. One moment, please. Pedestal has a symbol of an anvil under a mountain, and inside the case, on a velvet pillow, there is a compass, very finely crafted.
Hmm. Okay. Uh,
The compass has a cover over it, and you can't see the face.
okay. Let's take a look at this whole like glass case situation. Is there a door? Do you have to lift it up?
Roll an investigation check if you would like to feel, or perception if you would only like to look.
Perception. Look first with your eyes, said
Yep.
Mum. 18.
18. Not bad for the rolls you got.
Well, I
um,
always I always roll ones because I'm a halfling.
I mean, it looks old, but well kept. Almost as if magic has kept it from patina. Um, it is the shiniest platinum, and there's no symbols engraved on it. But it does look like there is a small depressible switch on the top, possibly to release the cover, that has a hinge on one side. The case itself doesn't appear to be locked. You don't sense anything. And looking up, the moonlight twinkling in from the skylight, you feel you're probably safe.
Oh right, because the ghosts are avoiding the moonlight. Okay. Sure. Let's see. She doesn't. There's no keyholes, right?
Hmm.
Um. There's a switch and a hinge,
Hmm.
and okay. Well, she'll try pressing the switch, I guess.
Oh no, the switch is on top of the compass that's inside this glass case.
Oh. Oh. I'm sorry. She's
Glass
looking.
case on a pedestal.
Yeah, she's looking at the pedestal and the glass case, as in, is there a way to open
Ah, I
the
see.
mechanism?
Okay. Uh, looking, even with that 18, it doesn't look like there's any levers, any special, secret switches or anything. Just that engraving on the side. Um, and that's pretty
Mm,
much it.
and it's an engraving of an anvil under a mountain.
Hmm.
Am I supposed to smash this glass case? That feels a little on the nose, doesn't it? Um. Well, let's consider our options before making any hasty decisions. Could polymorph into a giant ape and lift it off, but that might be a bit much. Mm. On the white square, I have no magic, but the ghosts can't get to me. Anyways, I could blow it up. Probably not. Draw too much attention. Let's see. Let's see. I'm not very strong, and it's so far above my head. I don't know if I could lift it off. So, well, I don't have much options then. But
You, as you think they're standing in the moonlight, you feel an itching sensation on your hands. And you notice yourself itching your wrists and your hands, and you look at your skin, and on your wrists and hands, it begins to almost bubble and flake. It doesn't
eh,
hurt, and you
it's
touch it, and when you touch it, you pull your fingers away, and there's a string of web material. coming from each of your wrist and palm. You put your hands together and it makes almost like a cradle, out of yarn of spider web. You shake it off a little bit.
I guess I wipe it on the pedestal.
You wipe it on the pedestal and it leaves these like spaghetti strap strings that you have to pull at to get them to come off.
Super weird. Mm. Maybe. Well, if she can jump up 8 feet, there's an idea. She's gonna try to just straight, like, just high jump up and tap her hand on the top of the glass case,
Mhm.
and then, or both hands, I guess. And if it
High
makes
jump
like,
athletics check.
yeah, and then I guess if it makes like stringy threads that she can then just like gently pull the glass
Mhm.
case like over. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And she is non-magical right now, so this is just a straight athletics check. 7.
You jump up and you manage to get your hands kind of stuck on the edge, on the corner of the glass, and those strings come off, but you start to slide down, kind of hanging from it. But you notice the glass case begins to clamshell open as you slide down.
Okay, okay. She's just gonna kind of like gently, gently,
It's
slowly.
almost at a 45-degree angle right now.
She's kind of like sliding her hands to the side to like hold it, and she's kind of like
Mhm.
holding one foot out,
Yep.
try to like land.
Okay. You actually your hands transfer the webbing onto the pedestal, and the string just holds it at an angle, just clamshelled open at a 45, stuck between the corner of the glass and the pedestal, the webs that hold it, slightly open.
Ah. And like she's on the ground, she's not holding it, and it's
Yeah,
just
you're on
open.
the ground and you
Oh,
shook off the webs and it's open. It's clamshelled open like this. You look around. No change in the environment.
ghosts are not coming to attack her. No alarms
No
going
no
off.
alarms going off. Nothing rushing in.
Oh
But
my
you're on the
goodness.
opposite side.
Yeah, it's open to the far side. Okay, well I guess she'll angle go here.
You can kind of shimmy around it in the same square, and you step back onto the black tile. You can just put yourself on top of it.
Oh, I'm on a white tile.
Well, you can stand on the same tile as the pedestal if you'd like, or you can stay on the white tiles around it.
We
But
want
to
to.
get to the object inside, you would have to go onto the black
Okay,
tile where the
yeah, so she'll
pedestal
just
is.
like shimmy
Okay.
around it onto the
Yeah.
black tile.
So you use some movement and shimmy around. Roll another stealth check for me.
Am I magical or non-magical right now?
Your magic has come back.
Magic is back. Okay. 14.
14. There! You hear the ghost say as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ghosts all appear on the black tiles ahead of you. Closest one about 10 feet away. Get her! They say, roll initiative.
Okay. Interesting question. When my magic goes away and then comes back, am I still concentrating on enhanceability, or is that like
No,
gone,
that's
gone,
gone. That's
gone,
gone.
gone? Okay.
Yep.
Initiative.
Natural
She is
25.2.
so
That is the
on.
highest initiative roll I've ever seen.
Well, her
Okay.
initiative is 5, so
Gosh. Okay. You go first.
he is so freaking on edge,
Uh,
just like
right. So
just-
you've shimmied around with your weird spiderwebby hands, but right there in front of you, clamshelled open, is the glass with the pillow and the the compass sitting on top.
Okay. And the ghosts say this?
Yeah, the ghosts are they've apparated and they're coming.
Okay, so the first thing she's gonna do is grab the compass, put it in a pocket somewhere.
Okay, you reach up and grasp the compass. When you do, you hear the ghosts make this awful cry, and now you know they're out for blood. In your head, you hear Mother's voice saying, "Find your reflection."
Okay.
So you have the compass. That's your interact with object.
Okay, yeah. Creepy laugh from Mother.
And now it's normal combat rules. It's not like checkers.
Okay. Here's what she's gonna do. So she grabs the compass, and like nothing strange happens other than the ghosts become increasingly agitated.
Yep, you stuff it down there. It's in there.
Right between her non-existent boobs.
Hmm.
Um, and um, and then I guess does she still have like sticky hands?
Yeah, you still have sticky hands.
Okay, perfect. She's gonna climb onto the pedestal.
Okay. Yeah, you climb up onto the pedestal, perched there.
And then she's pretty confident this will go okay, but just out of she hasn't actually done this before, so she's just gonna give it a go.
Okay.
Um, she's gonna try to channel divinity, um, turn undead
Okay,
as
very
her
nice.
action and just see what happens.
All right, so you channel
Hold out
divinity.
her symbol of the Spriggan, the two mirrored fairies on her little gold chain, and she kind of holds it out, and she says, Spriggan says go away."
All
And
right.
channel divinity. So all the if they're undead, I mean, if there's something else they don't, it doesn't bother them at all. But if they are undead,
Uh-huh.
they have to make a wisdom saving throw.
All right. And what is the effect on a fail?
So if they are here, just let me look it up. If they so the D first off, the DC is 16.
16. Okay.
If they fail, and they are where's the destroy
Is it
undead?
it's like immediately destroyed, isn't it?
So
Like
if they are
vaporized.
CR1 or lower, they are immediately destroyed. If they are
Oh,
a CR2 or higher, they are feared for 1 minute.
feared for 1 minute. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So
Yeah. So
wisdom save and DC 16?
wisdom save DC 16, please.
All right. Let's see if they've got anything for whiz save. Oh, yeah. Okay.
And it's only
Okay,
within
so this
30
is
feet.
starting
So
with the one.
I don't think it gets, yeah, so it doesn't get the most furthest one, just all
Okay.
of these ones here.
Okay. So I was going to start with the ones furthest away anyway. So I'm going to do this guy over here.
Okay.
You rolled a 17, so he saved.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the effect on save?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay.
He's
All right.
like,
So,
screw you, Spriggan, and
right.
that's what he does.
Now the one to the right of him, he rolled a 17 plus one's 18, so he
So yeah,
saved.
he's fine.
The one in the middle, that's an 8, so he failed. So this guy is feared. There. What's afraid look like? There. He's afraid. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Next guy. 16 plus 1 is 17, so he saves. And the last one, 16 again. Gosh, I'm rolling good. Plus 1, 17. So all except the one in the middle save. But
Okay.
this one is feared, can't come any closer to you.
So
Okay,
that's
so
part
that's
of,
your action.
that's her action, and she was kind of interested in seeing the strength of these creatures. Are these creatures that she could fight in that if they poofed, then maybe they could have the remaining ones she could fight. But since they were
Um,
just afraid in her brain, she's like she doesn't know CRs, but she knows
right.
that strong undead just become afraid,
Yeah, and you
and weak
fought
undead
ghosts
turn into
before.
like ash.
Have you guys fought ghosts before?
Yeah, probably. I don't
I
remember.
think you have. You fought several undead things. I'll tell you what, go ahead and roll. Just do a history check for me. Just
Okay.
straight history check.
I was gonna say, so she
It's
she
not
just
going to
knows that
cost an
things
action. This is
These
from
are
expertise with the Short Expectations, demon hunter group.
13. Not bad.
13.
Not
They're
horrible.
formidable, and this many
Yeah.
of them against one person, very formidable.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yep.
This could go badly.
This could go bad real quick. She can do magic right now.
You can do magic. You did your
Okay.
channel division as an action. You crawled up with your spider hands using a little bit of
There you
movement,
go. So without need for
and
an
you
action,
interacted with object to
she's
grab
going to
the.
grab the edges of her cloak,
Mhm.
and she now has a fly speed of 40 feet.
Okay.
And she's going to just kind of like jump off the pedestal and fly up into the air,
Okay.
uh, 40 feet directly up to the ceiling.
40 feet to the ceiling. Very good. Is that your turn?
Anything? Do I want to do anything for bonus action? I'm pretty sure. Spiritual weapon. Nope, that's fine. That's the end of my turn.
Okay. All of the other ghosts, except the one that is feared, on your turn or on their turn, fly up 40 feet to match you. Except
Ah,
for this one that can't move closer. He's just going to shift over to this one right here. He's on the floor still. They all float up to the same height as you and stay there. I do need you to, let's see, within 60 feet. Okay, I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw. Can you be frightened? Or do you have anything that
oh,
resists being frightened?
I have advantage
Okay,
on checks against being frightened.
checks against
So
being frightened. Okay.
that's one or saves.
Hmm.
I have advantage against being frightened. Period. So
Okay.
that's number one,
Okay.
and then this is the advantage. Oh, the
Okay.
one.
Very good. Yep, you managed to save. So, uh,
Because halflings are brave.
okay, nothing happens. Very good. So that's their turn. Back to you. You hear the
Okay.
voice at the top of the round again in your head. Find your reflection.
Okay. They didn't move towards me. They just moved up to the level that she was at.
Yes.
Okay. So she's going to. She doesn't know that the tiles have been turned off. So, she knows she needs to stay. If she wants to keep her magic, she needs to stay on the black tiles. So, she's going to, from her 40-foot vantage point, she's going to drop 5 feet,
Okay.
drop 10 feet. So she's actually out of melee with this ghost.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, they're pretty far apart.
Yeah, drop
Well, this way, right?
drop 15, drop 20,
Yep.
drop 30. She's just going to drop 5 feet for
So
each
you're just doing a diagonal
direction.
dive.
15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40.
Okay.
And she's going to, yeah, fuck it. She's just going to dash. 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80.
Okay. At the 80-foot mark, how high are you above the ground?
Sure, she is 30 feet above the ground.
30 feet. Okay, very good. All right. Would you like to do anything else? That was just movement and action.
Movement and action, and that's it. That's all she can do. That's the end of her turn.
Okay. The ghosts follow suit, and they are going to move their movement speed toward you. They can move 80 feet. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50.
Eh,
And then
and they just
down
move in a straight line.
30. So that one's in combat.
And they just move in a straight
5.
line, right? They're not dodging all around.
This one just went over ceiling. This one
Uh,
just hovered over with its movement and then used its action to dash to get down to you within melee. But they can't
okay.
strike because they use their action.
So did it? But was it dodging like along the blocks, or did it do
No,
it in
it
a
just
straight
it just
line?
floated through them. But you were so busy dashing, you didn't really notice what they were doing.
Okay. She didn't see if it like disappeared again while it was on the other tiles or not.
No.
Okay.
And this one that's feared is moving back. It's going to go back to here. This one, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 to there, and then 30 feet down as an action. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and then down. Yeah, down to meet you as an action. And this one, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 55, 60, 65, 70. And then that one will move down to the same height. And then finally, 60, 70, and then down to the same height. So all of them are the same height as you. They use their actions to dash. It's your turn.
Awesome. Okay. So she can't use her hands to like do that, but that's what she wants to do. So because she's gripping the edges of her cloak while she's flying, but she uses her action to disengage.
Okay.
Um,
Action disengage.
and then she's going to do this. She's just going to do this.
Beeline.
Yeah,
And then
and
down a
she
little bit to get to the door.
yeah, exactly. Okay. See, her little like thiefy brain wants to be like, "Can I grab the rope as I go?" But it's in a glass case, isn't it?
Yes, all of them are.
Ah, damn it! Not enough time for that. Okay, yeah, no, she'll just make it to the door.
Okay, you make it to the door. It's heavy wood, mahogany, the door frame. The door is shut.
She opens the door,
Okay, there's a handle, like a knob on the door. It's made of shiny brass.
tries to open the door.
Yeah, you grab it and shake it around. It's locked.
She used her action to disengage. She's here.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I was gonna move you.
Yeah.
You are actually on a black tile, technically, because
Okay.
you're on the door tile.
Okay. So she used her action to disengage, and she lands, and she's trying to open the door, and she realizes it's locked, and she just kind of like sighs, and she just waits for the like ghosty whatever stabbing into her back, and that's the end of her turn.
All right, end of your turn. The ghosts all close in behind you. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 5. And they can occupy the same space as one another, so they will.
Oh, cool,
And
awesome, great,
all 5 of them are going to do withering touch attacks on you.
great, awesome, wonderful.
All right. Number 1. That's an 8 plus 5's 13 to hit.
It misses.
Misses. Second one. 6 plus 5 is 11 to hit. Misses.
Boom, boom, boom.
Third
Uh,
one. 18 to hit plus 5 is 23 to hit.
uh, yep,
Okay,
yep.
so that's 1. Fourth attack is an 8 plus 5 is 13, misses. And last one, 9 plus 5, 14 to hit,
Misses.
misses. So only one withering touch works. You take. Oh. 2 6s, 2 5s. Okay, 22 plus 3. 25 necrotic damage.
25 points of necrotic damage. Okay, okay, we're doing all right. We're doing all right.
And the ghosts are all surrounding you, wailing. You notice one of the ghosts looks like your mother. It's your turn.
Oh shit. Uh, 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 uh.
At the beginning of your turn, again, you hear, "Find your reflection, listen to me."
And she's just kind of like stunned. If what you said, one of the ghosts looks like her mom.
Yeah.
She's just kind of like stunned a little bit, and just like staring at the ghost. Um, and it is it like she's like dead, or like she was like just like she saw her last, or like
Just like you saw her last, but spectral.
Lindel is going to cast um uh, mirror image
Okay.
using one of her third level spell
All
slots
right. You use a third level spell slot and cast
as her action.
your mirror image.
Um,
And yeah, you have your illusory duplicate.
poof, poof, poof. So there's four Lindels all standing in the
Mhm.
same three
And I
Lindels.
think they're all 15 DC or AC.
Yeah. So the AC
15
is all
AC.
15
Yep.
for all of them.
Okay.
Yeah. So four Lindels. Um, there. Um, and she's just kind of like, yeah, I think she's just stunned for. She casts mirror image to kind of protect herself a little bit, but I think she's just stunned staring at this ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think she's just like, Mum, is that you? What? Who?
The
What's?
ghost just wails, its mouth wide open, striking towards you.
Yeah, I think that's her turn. She's just like stunned, staring at this ghost.
Okay, 5 more ghost attacks. Number 1, 13.
Misses.
Number 2, 21.
Hits the duplicate. Oh wait, I
Number
have to
th-
roll to see if there's a duplicate.
Oh yeah, go
Why
ahead.
don't you give me all the attack rolls and then we'll go from there.
Okay, 18
18 hits.
hits. Okay, so that's 2 out of 3. 2,
Cool.
no, that doesn't hit. And last one is 11, does not. So 2 of them hit.
So two hit. So then she's going to roll a 20 to determine if the attack. Okay. So a 9, 3 duplicates, 6 or higher. So the first one hits a duplicate, and that duplicate is destroyed. So she has two
Okay.
duplicates left.
And second strike.
And the second one uh, hits her.
It hits you. Okay, so
Yeah.
again, necrotic damage. Oh, not bad this time. 2, 4, 6, 7 plus 3, 10 necrotic damage.
10 damage. Oh, that's not too bad. But she's bloodied, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, the 5 ghosts is not fun.
Yeah.
And let's see here. I need you to roll. Wait a minute. Yeah, roll another wisdom saving throw.
Is this against fear?
It is. You're immune to 1 out of the 5. So the next one is going to try it.
14.
14 saves. Okay, so you're
Oh my
immune
god.
to 2 out of the 5. Very good. And that's their turn. On to you.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you again.
Now she's in like a do I just keep running or do I like fight them off?
You hear Mother's voice again, just pleading with you. Find your reflection.
Because like it's mom and and potions are a action bonus action,
Action to
a
consume.
full on action to consume a potion.
That's correct. Yeah, it's a use an object action.
Okay, so she can't just like quaff a potion to help her get through this.
Nah, it foregoes your attack action.
Okay, well, I guess she's going to she'll turn around and use her action to try to do her thieves' tools on the door to try to
All right.
pick the lock.
Yeah, you get down there while being withering touched or trying to by these ghosts to pick this lock. You're under a little bit of stress, but you know what? You're cool. You've done this. Go ahead and roll to try and pick the lock.
Um, Now I'm just gonna roll because I'm proficient with them. Uh, it's
So you
whatever.
add dex and proficiency bonus, I do
Yeah.
believe. And then
So
you double your proficiency if you're an expert.
so I'm not expert. So I'm just gonna roll
Okay.
stealth,
Hmm.
but it's just a single roll, just because I don't have a button for
Yeah, that's
thieves'
fine.
tools. So 25.
25. You gather that this lock cannot be picked. Your lock picks do not break because you are very delicate and very tender as you do this, but yeah, this is some kind of a magical lock.
Oh, she kind of like sighs and be like, "Oh, well, there's nothing I can do about that then." That's her action.
Mhm.
Okay, well, and I guess it's going to be a fight. So her bonus action, she's going to summon her. Running out of spell slots. Running out of spell slots. Yeah, she's gonna summon her spiritual weapon, and let's see what's the best way to do this. Yeah, she's gonna summon her spiritual weapon at 4th level
All right, very good.
as
So
bonus
you summon
action.
your spiritual weapon, and do you want it to go ahead and go on top of one of the existing guys? There's
Uh,
one on the left, two in front of you, and two on the right.
so I don't know. Can it occupy the same space as one of them?
It can strike that space.
Yeah. So she's just going to attack. She's gonna start from the right and work her way in. I guess.
All
So she's
right, very
gonna
good.
attack the space on the right.
Very good. So go ahead and roll to, or do I roll a save? I think
Nope,
it's an
it's
attack
an
roll.
attack roll
Yeah.
from me.
Okay, go ahead and roll to
14 to
attack.
hit.
14 to hit. Yeah, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Uh, 18 points of force damage.
18 force damage. Very nice. Yeah, you smash through one of the ghosts as it flickers. Still wailing, striking out at you.
Mm-hmm. And what did her spiritual weapon? Yeah, is her big clover leaf.
Yes, yeah, the clover leaf just slices through it and it flickers.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, that's the end of her turn.
Okay, next up is the ghost. So 5 more attacks and 1 more horrifying visage. So go ahead and roll your wisdom save.
Sure, I'll roll the wisdom save first.
15.
Uh, so the wisdom save is a 27.
Yep, no problem. You're immune to 3 out of the 5.
Okay.
Did the 15 hit?
Uh, 15 uh, hits. It hits a duplicate, but it doesn't hit me. Until spend end, you can use your action. Okay, yeah. So that's 1 hit for a duplicate. So I'm
Okay,
just gonna do
so
this
1
here.
more duplicate gone. Second,
Um,
16.
Sorry, 1 second. I'm just gonna read this again. Duplicates
Yeah,
until
go ahead.
spend on duplicate attacked each time a creature is attack. Okay, so first I have to roll a d20 to see if it hits a duplicate or not.
Okay, go ahead and roll your d20.
So I have an 18.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, so
It,
it does hit a duplicate. So another
okay,
duplicate is gone.
okay. And then the next one was a 16 to hit.
So let's see if it hits a duplicate or if it hits me. With 1 duplicate, I have to roll an 11 or higher. No, so 16 would hit me, but my AC is higher than that, so it doesn't hit.
Okay, next up, 20, dirty 20.
Dirty 20. So that hits me.
Dirty 20 hits you. Okay, and then the last one, 19 to hit.
And let's see. And that hits me, I guess. Yeah,
All
2 hits.
right. So 2 of them hit you as the spectral hands reach through you, turning your blood cold. The first one is 9 points of necrotic damage,
Okay.
and the second is 15 points of necrotic damage.
I am.
That's their turn.
Is it? Okay. She is rough.
Mother is screaming in your head. Reflection! Look at your reflection! Get out!
There's no mirror in here! She like looks back at the mahogany wooden door.
Hmm.
It's not a mirror, right?
No, but there is a very shiny brass handle.
Oh. Um I don't know if she's smart enough to think about that.
Roll an intelligence check.
Yeah. 4.
There's no mirror.
Yeah, there's no mirror here. Okay. So if she stays here, she's gonna die. So they were avoiding the moonlight before, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, even though they were approaching her when she was on the pedestal.
You didn't know where they were when you were on the pedestal. They just appeared when you touched the compass.
Okay. Well, here we go. She's gonna use dimension a 5th level spell slot
Hmm.
to dimension door,
Okay.
onto the pedestal.
All right. You dimension door over to the pedestal, leaving the ghosts in the darkness.
Her spiritual weapon is still there with them, though.
Yep. All right. So that's your action?
That's my action. Bonus action. Since my spiritual weapon is still there,
Hmm.
I'm gonna attack the same one that it had attacked before.
All right. Go ahead and strike that square.
Natural 20.
You hit. Go ahead and roll damage and double.
So a total of 26 points of force damage for that ghost.
26 force. Very nice. Ooh. Yeah, it flickers, but it's still up.
Okay.
Anything else on your turn?
That's my action. My bonus action. That's the end of her turn. She's just gonna kind of like stand here on the pedestal, fingering her amulet of the Spriggan, looking around the room and thinking, "Find my reflection. There's no mirror in here. What am I supposed to do? The door's locked. It's magically locked. There's moonlight. There's windows up there." She's kind of just kind of muttering to herself, standing on on the pillow on the pedestal.
You see the 5 ghosts all in a line appear maybe about 25 feet from you. That's their turn.
Okay.
Horrifying visage. Roll a wisdom save against the 4th one.
With advantage against fear. 21.
No problem. You shake it off. You're immune to 4 out of 5.
Yeah, she's like bleeding profusely from like all these
Yeah,
withered points like on
you
her
are
back,
sloughing.
but she's still standing there like,
My reflection. What is
Eye
that?
reflection.
What does that mean?
Okay, so on her turn, she's gonna use her action to cast. Uh, she's gonna cast Spirit Guardians.
Okay, Spirit Guardians is up. What
Yeah.
is the range on your Spirit Guardians?
Here, I'll link the spell. Oh
I'll
no, the
give you a
first
little
weapon.
aura.
Sorry. Spirit Guardians. That's an aura of 15 feet. So,
15-foot radius.
yeah, here I got it. 15-foot
There it
radius.
goes.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. There we go. All right, 15-foot radius. Very nice. Anything else?
Um, any creature. So there's little. Uh, they're like little sprites and fairies, but they're non kind of descript. They're just greens and blues and kind of like naturey colors that are just kind of flitting and flying around her.
Very nice. Some of them are
Um,
leaving little streams of pixie dust as they
yeah,
fly
with like
around.
little sparkles and stuff. Um, uh, and yeah, so the second that a creature enters into the area, it has to make a wisdom save
Mhm.
and takes radiant damage if it fails a save. Either way, a creature's speed is halved if it enters the area. So it's basically difficult terrain.
Okay.
And then she's going to grab the yeah, she'll grab the edges of her bat cloak and she'll fly up and back onto the balcony.
Okay. That's just a wall. There's not a
Oh,
balcony
okay.
up there. But you can be on the white
You said
tile
there was a
against the
balcony,
wall.
right?
There is a second floor. There's a window that goes to the second floor above the doorway where you entered, and then there's also staircases leading up on the left and the right of you
Yeah.
currently.
So where does the second floor?
You have to either go up the staircase or through the window above the entrance door. The rest of it is just stone wall.
Yeah. So she'll fly, I guess. Uh, yeah, she'll fly to the staircase, I guess.
Okay,
Then.
yeah. You fly over to the staircase, and looks like it spirals up to the second floor. There's a landing, and then the stairs curve around to the left.
Okay, that's the end of her turn.
All right. The ghosts are going to move up. 10, 15, 20. He hits the edge.
Okay, make
10,
a wisdom
15,
save.
20, 25 for that one. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 for that one.
Or I guess you might as well do
30 for that one.
all of the
30
movement that they
for
want to do.
that one. Okay, very good. And wisdom save 1, 16.
Meets or beats, so he meets it, so he's fine.
Meets it. Okay, 5,
Fails.
the
He takes
20,
meets. So the first one who failed
18,
takes
and
18
2. So 2
fails.
of them fail.
So the one both that fail, the first one takes 9 points, the second takes 12 points of radiant damage.
All right, 9 and 12 points of radiant damage as a burst of radiant energy flickers and they squeal in pain.
As the little
Um,
fairies and sprites are like poking them with miniature little daggers. And...
right. So that was 25, 30,
So the
35,
second they enter into the aura, their speed becomes
35.
half. So if their speed was
Oh,
originally 20 feet, their 40 feet, their speed becomes 20 feet. So if they've already moved 20 feet, then that's it. They're cut off.
wouldn't they get half of what's left?
Oh, maybe that's the way it works.
Because they used 20 to 25 to get there, so then they would have another 10 or 15, sorry, 15 or 20.
It
So
just
they
says
could move 5 or 10.
it just says the affected creature's speed is halved. It doesn't say that the creature's remaining speed. It just says the
Their
unaffected
speed
creature's
is halved.
speed is halved.
So if it's already taken, movement was already taken. So yeah,
Yes,
okay.
my understanding is like if you have a speed of say like 40 feet, then your total speed for that round is 20 feet.
Gotcha. Okay. But 3 were unaffected.
And that doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Got
whether
it.
affected or unaffected is just if I decide if they're my friends or not. And then
Oh, okay.
the next part of it is they have to make a wisdom saving throw.
Gotcha. All right. Then they all stay put. What's next?
That's kind of the point of the spirit guardians is it's a keep them away
I
kind of
guess they
character.
could use dash action to go half.
They yeah,
They
they
can
certainly
get
could. So
there.
they could
Okay.
certainly dash
Yeah. So
and
3
move
of them
another
are able to
20
just
feet up
dash.
to
Ooh,
yeah.
whoops. I dropped the thing. Okay. So they just move into range, but they're not in combat. So go ahead.
Okay. Um okay. She's going to does she want to use her accent to disengage or does she want to just risk it? She is not looking good. So she's going to use her action to disengage
Okay.
and she's going to fly
Up the
40 feet
stairs.
up the stairs looking for some kind of fucking mirror.
Okay, yeah, you fly up the stairs into a hallway that leads the entire distance down. It's maybe about 10 feet tall. There's an arched ceiling that's very ornate and decorative. Uh, there are sconces with lamps, little end tables, and a rug that line the hallway all the way down to the end. At the very end of the hallway, it looks like it takes a left turn.
Okay, yep, she'll just use her full movement speed 40 feet down the hallway.
Okay, 40 feet down the hallway. So go ahead and move yourself 40 feet down the map, just so you can
Uh,
see where you're at.
5. I'm not sure. It's just I can't move myself off the map anywhere.
No, no, that's fine. Just move down. We'll know that you're inside the wall.
When you say down, do you mean like towards the mahogany door?
Yes,
Or
yes.
oh, okay, 5,
1, 5,
10,
10.
15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40.
Okay, you
Oh,
make it
and there I
to.
can move kind of
Oh, there you go.
outside
Yep.
there. Yep.
All right. Yeah. So make it about that far down the hallway. You've still got quite a bit of space to go. Now looking behind you, You assume that the ghosts will be in hot pursuit, and yet
Mm-hmm.
you do not see them follow.
Oh, okay.
What would you like to do?
They've taken a turn, but I don't see them.
Maybe.
Okay, she's just gonna keep dashing down the hallway looking
Yep.
for me.
All right. You dash
5,
down the hallway.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Uh, nothing so far.
Nothing so far.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Is there a corner or does the hallway
There's a
continue?
corner. You've reached a corner where it turns to the left.
35, 40?
All
Around the
right. Now
corner?
that you've turned the corner, you can see that right where there is a large pointed arch window that leads to the larger room outside with the pedestals, there is a small table, and on the table is another glass case. And across from the glass case is a large mirror.
Okay. And there's no,
You
as far
don't
as she's aware, no ghosties.
you don't hear or see anything.
Okay. Um, okay. She's going to head up to the glass case.
Okay. You go over to the glass case, looking inside. The outside of the the outside of the desk has an image carved in it, a decorative image of a tree, the roots extending down and deep and wrapping around several skulls that make up a pile underneath the earth. Inside the glass case, there is a plate, and on it sits an apple, half of which is a ruby red color, the other half a shiny white. Behind you, you see a reflection in the window, and you turn back to the apple. What would you like to do?
Okay. Sorry. So, tree. The picture is trees on the skulls.
The picture is a tree, a nice big
Single tree.
lush tree, but its roots grow down and grasp these skulls that are just a big mass underneath the tree, under the earth, almost as if the tree has grown out of the skulls.
And no ghosts. No ghosts. No ghosts.
No, no ghosts. You look
Okay.
out the window, and down below on the checkered floor, you can see the hovering mists of spectral creatures.
And are they moving towards me or they're just kind of there?
They're just kind of there. They're not moving.
Okay. Um. All right. Um. Can she open the glass case at all? Like, is it
Mhm.
like here, here? Like, is it
It's about this wide, maybe about this tall. It looks like, yeah, you could probably lift it up.
okay? Does she still have sticky hands?
You still have sticky hands.
Can she like make a hinge?
Yeah, you sure can. Yeah, you
The-
drape a little bit of webbing over and make a hinge, and it starts to kind of lift up a little bit, leaving maybe about a foot gap. There's the apple on the plate.
Does it look trapped at all?
Roll an investigation check.
Okay. 15.
15. It doesn't appear to be trapped, but that apple, there's something strange about it. It is too perfect, and yet so odd.
As in, as in, like the apple itself is maybe magical, but there's nothing magical or like trappy about the pedestal itself.
You don't know.
Can she take a fold of her cloak
Hmm.
so she's not touching it directly? Take a fold of her cloak and grasp the apple.
Hmm. Yeah, you wrap your cloak around and grasp the apple in it, pulling it back.
Anything happen?
No?
She opens up her haversack and just Puts it in the
Yeah,
haversack.
you plop it into the haversack.
Okay, cool. And then not wasting any more. There's nothing else significant in this room.
Doesn't look like it. Just
Okay.
the large mirror behind you.
And then she'll be like, "Oh, finally found the mirror. Almost died trying to find it, but." As she turns around and faces the mirror.
You turn around and face the mirror, and you face your own reflection. There, in the mirror, you make eye contact. The reflection smiles again and takes a step forward, reaching a hand out to grasp yours.
You smile really creepy, but thank you.
You reach your hand back and clasp your own, and it pulls you into the mirror. Again, you feel yourself being sucked into this black void. An orange light appears above you, a swirling, bubbling circle of liquid. It descends towards you, getting larger. When it gets close enough, you see a large ladle stirring the whirling fluid, and through it, the wavy image of Mother looking down at you. Can you hear them, young urchin? The whispers growing louder.
The question. Um, yes, lots of creepy, ghostly whispers were in that room.
Soon the pact will be broken. We are all on borrowed time.
Okay. That's scary.
Tear down this world that abandoned you, or free us all.
All free us all or and free us all? Different.
or,
All free us.
or,
Okay, good. Do I have to make the choice now?
you've already made your choice.
Free us all?
Lindel, the colonizer gods are not who you think. Their myths were reinvented. Fear not, the moon, Malleus, will guide you. Or the dragon. You must decide.
Um, well, I mean, if the choice is the Spriggan or the dragon that my dad followed, um, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, he's super cool and, like, dad was all like, oh, these are my rituals and things, but, I mean, like, Spriggan's been, Malleus has been there for me when I really needed him. So, I mean, I guess I'll go with Malleus.
You have a family in my savior as well. And the rest of your companions.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome, aren't they?
Lindell, you know there are others without families, like you were.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's tons of people back at the orphanage.
Some are the end of their lines.
Hmm.
They need your help the most.
You know, I was thinking about that. I was thinking of an idea that maybe, because we got all this gold, right? And there's no reason saying that we can't, like, share that gold with people who need it. So I was thinking of an idea, maybe a way that I could like spread it around without being like, "Oh, Lindel's showing her money," you know. Um,
Lindel, there are more important things in your future than gold.
yeah, that's fair.
Do not let your greed blind you. Or embrace the greed. See where it leads you. Choice is yours. I'm merely a guide.
Okay. I mean, it's not really greed. It's just more like making sure that you have enough money to put food on the table and have a roof over your head. It's just kind of a mode that you get into when you don't have a whole lot, you know?
I understand. But your basic needs will be met. Do not have to carry the weight of everyone on your shoulders.
There.
But there are a few who need your help. You must find them.
Any sort of guidance as to who these specific people are?
I have given you a vision. But, and Mother clutches her head as she stirs, this place has become a focal point in time and space. Many powerful eyes on here. We have riled them. They do not like to be toyed with. I have taken this risk to rid the plains of the Dark Lord's meddling. I have channeled too many at once. The trickster and the dragon vie for your loyalty, orphan.
I'm sorry, you look like you got a bit of a headache. Do you need a snack or something?
When you say that to her, rather than a laugh or a typical reaction, you see her go limp. And then her head snaps back forward, eyes wide, glazed over white. And you hear a different voice, demonic, monotone, speak directly to you. Use the shadows, gather them, build an army. You will be the one to reunite the lost children or tear them apart. I cannot fight them off any longer. You see the color return to Mother's eyes, and she frantically begins to swirl the cauldron harder, faster, until a swirl of a whirl and a peak comes down, almost meeting your forehead.
It's
Quickly, do you
high.
have any questions?
So many questions. Oh my goodness. I wasn't prepared for this. Why are the trickster and the dragon both vying for me?
The gods, they are not who they say they are.
Yeah, they're just like really powerful people, aren't they? They're not really gods and stuff, aren't they? Um, what am I supposed to do next? Um, uh,
Trust the Savior and your friends. Find it. The thing you were shown. You must find it and save the end of their lines. As soon as she gets out that last breath, the whirling whirlpool touches your forehead, and immediately you take a gasp, and you're back in Mother's hovel. You wake from some sort of spell, your head hurts. You're still staring at your reflection in the crystal ball, your arms weak from holding them up for what seems like hours. Fatigued and tingled, you have to brace yourself on the edge of the table. to keep from falling over. The other members of Short Expectations are still looking into their reflections. You feel fatigued. Some time has passed. The cauldron has stopped brewing long ago, and you hear Mother whispering in the back room. You look down, and in your hand are two Taroka cards.
What do they look like?
You turn them over. In the left is the artifact, and in the right, the executioner. The executioner is turned upside down, inverted. The artifact, right side up. And if you'd like to Google those really quick, Taroka and Artifact and Taroka and Executioner. You can see those cards. And in the little video that I'm taking, there's a like an overlay that has both of the cards already in it. So they've been up the whole time. Um,
Cool.
so yeah, and this is important. The Artifact was on the left and the Executioner was on the right, and the Executioner was inverted.
Can I?
Oh, yeah, you've got them. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, the Artifact and the Executioner.
I just gotta.
Um, after peeking down at the cards, you look back up and you see Safkeen is easing towards the cauldron room. She's no longer by the reflecting pool. She stops and looks back at you, and you guys make eye contact, and that's where we'll end this today.
Okay.
So, congratulations, Thomas. You have been through Mother's Vision.
There's so much stuff.
So, now it's time for a new segment called the Lindel One Shot Interview, starring Thomas. And I will be your interviewer, and I'm going to ask you some questions about Lindell, your thought process, things you saw, etc. So first, do you have any questions for me? I know there was a big lore dump. Um, there was a lot of information talked about, but do you need any refreshers?
Uh,
You're pretty good at taking notes, so
that's what I'm trying. It's awkward when it's like one on one because I usually like catch up most of my notes when like someone else is talking or when someone else is
right,
happening when I type
right.
my notes.
That's why I wrote
Um,
out the script just in case, so that we had a record of everything. There were some things that went a little off script, which is normal for D&D, but I kind of kept you on the rails for most of it.
okay, what were executioner and artifact? Yeah, there we go.
So artifact on the left and
Right.
executioner inverted on the right.
Okay, can you're right in the way. Excuse me. You're right in the way.
Kitty kitty.
You're right in the way.
Kitty likes D&D.
She likes being center of attention. Okay. So artifact right side up on the left, executioner inverted on the right.
That's correct.
Okay, cool. Um, do I have any questions? So
Mhm.
many questions.
I'm sure. Both
Um,
Thomas and Linda.
right.
So yeah, do you need any reminders or things that were like, oh, that went way too fast. I didn't quite catch that.
Let me see. Two Taroka cards, jungle. I mean, my first question is like, well, what happened if I gone through the right? And then it would
Right,
have been
right,
like an adventure, like
right.
with Trevor as the guide.
Possibly.
Um,
I guess I'll just start off with okay, so not Lindell, Thomas's perspective.
yeah.
You knew you had to make a choice. I kind of poked and prodded little hints, the door might shut. Um, and you're kind of at this crossroads where we haven't really delved a lot into Lindell's backstory, but you made a choice.
Hmm.
Do you think you'll stick to that choice?
As far as like which world to go into, or like,
Well, I guess first of all, what's your takeaway from what you experienced from this vision with the two worlds and this choice? And then finally, do you think you made a choice? Do you think Lindell made a choice?
so I don't think, and this is I can't because I think she's not a big like higher thinking kind of person, right?
Mhm.
She runs a decent a lot of her is running on instinct kind of thing.
Right.
So I think just with the whole um like which world to go into, Thomas in retrospect thinks like, oh, okay, I see. It was like the dragon is what like the flying things that was like the dad side, and then like the rogue kind of like sneaky stuff was the mom side. So it was kind of like a dad versus mom kind of thing. So Thomas sees that, but Lindell didn't see that. What Lindell
Mhm.
saw was like, oh, I see. I'm a cleric. I can do undead. Sneaking around is my forte. Like this is my strength. This is what I'm good at. And like jungles, like I'm not really super good at jungles. And like a big scary thing,
Mhm.
I'm not like huge big on fighters. So then obviously I'm gonna choose the one side.
So do you think that Lindell then always errs on the side of caution? Often just thinking like mechanically, like this is what I'm good at, this is my niche, I go here, and
Not
forget trying, something that I might fail at.
necessarily, because like I think she's certainly like yeah, she'll try things, but I think especially growing up in sub 2 um or sorry, sub 1,
Mhm.
and the fact that she's like always, well, so here's the thing, when you're always on edge and always about to get caught, right, especially if you're like pickpocketing or like delving into unknown places and you're doing those things to survive, you're always a lot on edge, which means that if you're doing those kinds of things to try to stay alive and you're putting yourself in dangerous situations which might get you caught or not stay alive, if you have the option of risky option versus safe option, it's like there's no choice. You would always go with like the safer option because you're already in a risky situation,
Right, right.
right? So if you're going to like take risks or like do silly things, like where you, not silly things, but when you like put yourself in more of a risky situation, um then it just kind of like increases the likelihood that you're going to get caught or whatever the case may be, right? So why would you do that, right? If your goal
Right.
is to like get in, get out,
Especially
right?
because there's a lot of unknowns, going into this, whatever this was. And that brings up a good point. What does Lindell think this was?
Yeah, and like so like a lot of her thought process was like, okay, I think these tiles are safe, so I'm just gonna, like, that's one of my notes was like these what did I say, white tiles safe, black tiles not safe or something was like one of my first notes. Which is wasn't ended up being the case necessarily, but like, okay, stick with what's safe and do that. Lindell definitely thinks this is like a some kind of magical illusion something. She doesn't really fully know, but
And I need to do a little corrections corner. Not sure if I did or not.
hmm,
I don't remember who it was that had detect magic up. I think it might have been Xavier or you. But the magic that Mother was doing when you guys first started feeling weird looking at your reflection, it was illusion magic. I think I said it was divination.
so she didn't have detect magic. That would have been Xavier. She
Okay.
had
Yep.
detect evil and good up.
Right, but you did not. So
Hmm.
nothing pinged off the evil and good, but yeah. Um, so just for Thomas's, I wanted to correct that, just so you didn't get the wrong
Yeah,
expectation
like
about
for
that.
all Lindell's knows, it could have been another world kind of
Mhm.
thing, but just the way things like worked and kind of things like that, like especially with the whole like being in a soup bowl and going through a void, like she's more like she's done clairvoyance and like divination kind of magic, so she kind of has an image of how that stuff goes.
Mm.
So yeah, she doesn't really know, I guess, is the short answer of what that was or what happened.
Do you think you missed out on some things by not going to the other side?
Well, the first thing is like Lindell's like, fuck, I wish I could have gotten like what was inside all the other cases,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, sure.
Like like getting all of the cases would have been like awesome. And or she would have liked to see what's in the other world,
And I
I
might
think.
share it at some point, the other side. Don't think that it's all lost. It might come out as you guys explore, the rest of Spiralia, go off island. And there's kind of like big things afoot. And it's almost on a cosmic scale now. You guys have been to other planes of existence. Um, so would it be scary for Lindell? I mean, ending up in places like this, not necessarily this dream world or like whatever Foreteller did to you guys. Is it scary for Lindell having the rest of Short Expectations? You know, like five other people rely on her for transportation to and from other planes, perhaps?
For for her for transportation?
Right, for Lindell. Like, does she have that ability, or would you be stranded, or would you be
No, I
worried
don't.
about?
Yeah, I don't get that spell for another couple levels.
Right, so
Uh,
Lindell would have this like, well, I don't, I have to rely on my friends to get me back.
mhm. Yeah, I don't know. Like, so with so it's funny because with the whole um foreteller situation, he had established like, hey, this is a separate world, and don't worry, you're all gonna be fine, like no matter what happens. So that
Mhm.
kind of let her like let go a little bit and take more risks, like with the whole like nosedive thing and stuff like that,
Right.
because it was like, oh, it doesn't matter like you're gonna be fine, right?
Sure, right, and
And so
it's kind of what Foreteller has taught you guys is that in these spaces you can, it's the Matrix and you can do whatever you want.
yeah, and
So
with this
she's
situation that wasn't established for
right.
her per se, so that's why she was still she defaulted to the trying to play it safe, and she legit I have so she has normally has 97 hit points. I have 9 hit points left.
Yeah, it got
So
hairy. I mean,
she legit almost died. Like,
five ghosts on one is no joke. Yeah, some really crappy dice rolls on my part. You squeezed by, and getting to the second floor helped a lot. Um, so
mhm.
how did it feel for Lindell to see Bree, her mother, as a ghost, and Kumo as this guide?
um I think it's kind of reassuring with Kumo as the guide, in the whole, because like he was the one who kind of like brought her to the Spriggan in the way, and he's like always been there. He's never been like super, like he's never like spoken to her before, so that's really cool. um he's just always been like that comforting presence, like he's always there. um
Does
so
that
that
make
was
Lindell think more about the option of seeking out what the Archdruid's
that's yes,
secretary said? And
absolutely, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
she's all about like gonna find this guy,
yep,
getting
yep, yep, yep.
um yeah, because that's definitely like on her brain, but now it's like even more so on her brain, because she had always been like, oh, I wonder if he would be like an actual familiar that we could like communicate with. And then seeing her mom, like I think it was just shock, like I don't even
Yeah.
know, because she's been she's been missing her mom for so long, and I think she kind of got into that like that just like not thinking about it kind of place, right? Like just pushing it so far back into the realm of your brain that you just to all those feelings kind of come flooding back, and just to have her mom like that, all those feelings of like love and caring and connection and all those that kind of stuff, and just to have mom being a ghost and just to like
Yeah,
scream in her
bittersweet.
face
Right,
is very like, is this actually my mom? Is this an illusion? Is this someone toying with me? Oh
right.
my gosh, I miss her so much.
And it was
Like,
almost worth it even though it's scary, but yeah.
yeah, like that's like, yeah, I don't know, I'll have to think about that. I don't really know how
Mm.
she it's
There's a
yeah.
lot to unpack. There's still a lot that's, shrouded in some mystery. But, was the experience at all predictable for Thomas? Or was it completely unexpected?
Predictable for me?
Mhm.
What do you mean by predictable?
Like maybe you saw some kind of encounter like this coming, or any of the things that you experienced in the vision.
Um, uh, do I think this
Because
was
I know you have theories, and you've had some theories for a long time, but does this
yes.
confirm or deny any of them?
This does not confirm or deny any theories.
It just creates more questions. It's an episode of Lost. It just creates more questions.
Yeah, because like all of my theories are about like other things and how they're connected, not necessarily about her mom.
Right.
Because she's searched Sub One, she's asked around, she knows that they went on a trip or something like that, because they were sending her letters. Um, but they were gone for like a year, so like who to ask about where they are or what happened to them. All she has is these like these letters and this information, and like she searched around Sub One as best she could, even like Harbor Town a little bit, I guess, and couldn't find any new details. So there's literally nothing to go on
Well,
except for
with
now
all
this new
the
map that she got that's kind of like
right.
revealed
Mhm.
these other little bits, and it doesn't necessarily say this is the route we were heading.
Right.
Um,
But it's a clue. You have a clue.
exactly, but it is
And
a clue.
does this then all these visions and metaphors, do you think these are clues? Do you think this is mother? What do you think about the things Lindell saw? Like, who is this? What's behind it? What is it? What does it mean? Who's doing this?
There's so much because there's all these things on the pedestal, and like, is that reflecting? Is that one pedestal for each of us, or a specific person, or is that one pedestal for each of the gods?
So was there any
Um,
symbolism, like numerology, astrology, anything in the vision that jumped out at Thomas? Or, things you have theories about? Not necessarily Lindell, unless you only want to speak for her and not let the DM peer into Thomas's thought process too much.
um, uh, I don't know. There's so much metaphorical stuff going on in this vision. That's the thing. There's nothing concrete that
Did
like
anything just
I'm
jump out?
pointing. But like I think that like each of the pedestals maybe were referring to one of the other gods. And the only reason why I say that is because like the pyramid and sun, that makes me think of like Seon,
Mhm.
and like the ship and the quill. I don't know what Newgate refers to at all, and I don't know what a rope would be. Um, and I don't remember what the other like symbols of the gods are. Um, and like the moonlight and shadow. Let's see. Watch for traps. Follow the festival themselves. Find her. Anvil under the mountain. So the anvil wasn't that's like a dwarven kind of symbol. Anvil under the mountain is like a dwarf. Case is old shiny platinum. That's so small. Hinge. Moonlight feels safe. So that's kind of like a symbol of her dad almost, because her mom's halfling, dad's a dwarf. Um, let's see, what else do I have for notes here? On escape, ghost looks like her mother. Tree root, tree grasping skulls. That I have no idea about. I don't, unless that's like a symbol of mother herself,
Mm.
because she's like super old and whatnot. Apple with half ruby red, half white. Um, yeah, I don't know if that's a Xavier or a mother reference or something like that, but that's my best guess. And then the whole image thing that just makes me think of the show Lock and Key that I was recently watching
Oh, yeah?
with the whole like there's a key that like goes into a mirror dimension, and it's like your reflection,
Mm.
but it's like a creepy reflection that like tries to
Right.
steal you into a dimension, and that's like Thomas like thinking, not necessarily what Lindell's thinking. Soon the pact will be broken. We're all on broken time. Tear down this world or free us all. Um, Colonizer gods are not what you think. Fear not, malice will guide you, or the dragon you must decide. See, and that feels weird, because like either will guide you. Like she's very much a cleric of Spriggan or Malleus, but then twice Mother offered her or stated that like the dragon might guide you, and
Mm.
she's had like zero connection to him.
Right.
Like God, like Dad did the rituals, and she like, yeah, okay, yeah, we're praying now. When she was like younger, but she has like no connection to. I can't remember what his name is. It starts with a D. Um, but twice she was like offered him as like a the trickster and the dragon vie for your loyalty.
Mhm.
I don't know. Use the shadows to gather them, build an army, tear them apart. What? Yeah.
Again, a
And then
lot
there's
to unpack.
and then trust the savior and your friend. So who is the savior? Is the next like another question. And so yeah, it's a lot more questions. I don't think I have
Yeah.
any like concrete answers. Definitely
So,
something as along the lines of mom and dad are somehow entwined in this whole god slash upper beings versus dark lords type of conflict that maybe is coming or happening
mm,
there.
So do you think like Kumo was like baiting you towards something? Do you think you were baited into this? Or
Baited.
do you trust what what you followed Kumo into and what you were shown?
So now that you say that, that's kind of weird because like Lindell wouldn't question it. Lindell would be like,
Mhm.
"Oh yeah, of course I could trust Kumo." Um, Thomas is like, "Well, like he brought us to this weird pedestal that has like not a lot to do with us." And said something about Newgate, which I have no idea what that means for her. And then also he sent her down a trap door that every other block was a trap.
Mhm.
So it looked like a good kind of thing, but then it ended up being like a very trapped route.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Thomas thinks Kumo is trustworthy, but Lindell will be like, fuck yeah, of course. He's my buddy.
So do you feel some kind of sense of duty now to move toward what was suggested or away from it?
Well, there's so much suggested. What do you mean?
It's hard to say. It's just thinking about next steps for Lindell. I mean, obviously, you guys are going to have to get back together. You're going to have to share what you've experienced.
Yeah.
But Lindell personally, does this provide some kind of jumping point?
Um, I think so. I think because so Lindell's a cleric, right? And
Mhm.
she has never. I guess she hasn't really had a vision from the Sprigga directly. Or she or they always leaves like little hints, like a
Mhm.
leaf.
A vine wrapped around, a
Yeah,
leaf
yeah,
that
little
blows.
things,
Yeah.
but never like speaks to her directly. So she's
Mhm.
used to like very vague things, and I think with that kind of interaction with her god, she's used to very vague things and being like, well, they'll answer themselves in time. Like
Mhm.
I don't think she's one to overthink things. So I don't think this really changes a whole lot of like where she's going or what she's doing. She still like wants to know like where her mom and dad went and like what they're doing and are they safe. Um, she still would love to have Kumo as a familiar.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
um, she wants to know what Mother's involvement. I think maybe that's the only thing that's changed is like who is Mother, what is
Right.
Mother's involvement in
What's
all
her
of this.
stake in all this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and does Mother know anything about her mom and dad? I think
Right.
maybe is the only thing that has changed from this vision. Because if Mother was the one who was making these visions, if she Mother crafted these visions, worlds, whatever you want to call them, then does Mother know anything about her mom? Or is this like one of those things where it just pulled out of your memory kind of thing?
Right. Like how
So
much of it is you, how much of it is her?
that yeah, I think that's the only thing that maybe is different now. And whatever these tarot cards are in her hand.
Right. And Mother's somebody that you just met, even though you've known Xavier a little while, but can you really trust what just happened? Uh,
She has a creepy laugh, but that doesn't make her
yeah.
a bad person.
Right.
So
Exactly. Well, here's a hard question. Does Lindell have an enemy or a clear antagonist? And what would it mean to Lindell to have an enemy?
So Lindell's all about like community and like that's one
Mm.
of her ideals that I put on our character sheet and like helping people where she can. And I
So your enemy is isolation or people not being taken care of,
I'm trying to
oppression of the masses.
maybe, yeah, but like all of the people in charge are like nice people. Like she
Mm.
wants Callista Libre to go on a date with you, and like, and like, yeah, there's some people at the council that are questionable, but like for the most part, like when she like obviously put in the effort to put in their defense, they were receptive to that. They weren't just
Right.
like, "Oh no, it doesn't matter what you say. You guys are going to jail." Like they were open to that like democratic process and stuff like that. So they themselves inherently aren't horrible people, or at least most of them.
Mhm.
So she has no problem with that. She
Yet
she doesn't
there's some things you guys have experienced that are pretty off-putting, lithobolia, this spirit naga creature, genies run wild. There's this cult with these portals and monsters coming out. There's child slavery. There's a lot of themes kicked around that are pretty bad or evil, but does Lindell just feel kind of separated from that? Like, I'm not that kind of hero.
Say I'll have to think about that because like I don't know. That's that I don't know what the perfect bad guy against Lindell would be, right? Like if she had a nemesis, what would her
Right.
nemesis look like? Uh, I don't know off the top of my head, and because I think part of it is
Somebody
that she
with way too much power or pull over people that treats them poorly or keeps
maybe.
them downtrodden.
I think what the problem is Lindell is such a happy-go-lucky person that she
Mm.
wants to see the good in everyone.
Right. Right.
She's very much still that childlike kind of view of everyone can be inherently good. Everyone is like redeemable kind of thing. Um so like yes, these child slavers are bad, but like they're doing bad things, not necessarily that they're inherently bad people, right? And we even found that with the whole Mildred's family of like some of them they
Mhm.
were doing it for bad reasons, but like they were trying to I can't even remember what it's been so long since we played this game, but
Right.
they were they were trying to like save their family estate or something like that. Like that was their reason, right? They were trying to make their mead better so that they didn't go under, right? To save their family.
Mm.
So like even then they're not irredeemable per se.
What do you think
Yeah.
about the cards? How they correlate to either side of the experience, the vision, and how they correlate to you, to Lindell.
Well, I think the artifact probably refers to the compass, which probably this is Thomas, not Lindell, but Thomas
Mm.
probably thinks the compass probably leads to either wherever her parents were headed or their parent or her parents' ship, one or the
Mhm.
other. That's an assumption, total
Right.
assumption. Executioner, I have no idea what that means. The fact that it's inverted probably means like a choice in that like you could be the executioner or not, and or you have to face off against the executioner
Right.
or something along those lines. And the whole mother's kind of thing of use the shadows, gather them, build an army, unite them, or tear them apart was like this demonic voice, this dark lord.
Right.
And you must, the things you were shown, you must find and save the end of their lines. I have no idea what that means.
Do you think you would have seen your father in some kind of manifestation on the other side?
Uh, oh yeah, like on the other side, Thomas thinks like that was probably a dragon, and so probably would have
Mm.
seen Dad on that side. But then it's also weird because the pedestal had an anvil under a mountain, which is a dwarven thing. So
Mixed
yeah,
messages.
yeah, mixed messages, but probably yeah, I think that makes sense. From Thomas knows that like this is probably like the mom side because she's like a rogue, and
Right.
dad is the cleric of Dominus. Was that the god's name?
Right, Dominus.
Dominus. Yeah,
The Drake, the great Drake.
yeah, the Great Drake. Um,
Hard to say.
I like the yeah, definitely like mom on one side, dad on the other, probably.
Do you have any regrets about seeing mom and not dad?
Oh, does Lindell regret seeing mom? I don't think so. And the reason why she doesn't necessarily, because I don't know if she fully grasps that mom is on one side, dad is on the other. But because I don't think she sees it as that, because I don't think I think she sees it as this is the thing that she was better at, so that's what she did. And I think seeing mom, I don't think she sees it as mom
Yeah.
because this is not the person that she remembers.
Right,
this
right,
was this was a vision and it screamed at her. So this isn't mom. This
right.
wasn't mom.
So you believe what Kumo said,
Which part?
that she isn't your mother.
Oh, yeah, I think I remember him saying that. Somebody, but yeah, like that. So I don't think that she would extrapolate enough to say like, oh, I saw mom on this side and I would have seen dad on that side, and that makes me
Mm.
sad for not seeing dad because this was not mom.
Right. So it wouldn't have been dad anyway on the other side.
That's exactly it. There would have
Right.
been some kind of image or shadow or ghost or
Mm.
something, but it's not really
Right.
dad anyways.
So does all the like high context speaking in riddles, Yoda speak intrigue and mystify Lindell, or just confuse and annoy her?
I don't think it annoys her. I think it does intrigue her to some degree, but I think she's not a pegs and yarn type of. Thomas is.
Right, right.
Lindell is
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. Not the conspiracy theorist.
She's not a pegs and yarn type of person. She's a very much dealing kind of like with what's in front of her, and that kind of comes from the way her last few years growing up. I think she's gonna try to remember the things that happened in the vision as much as possible. Um, like take note of them, but I don't think she's gonna try to extrapolate them too much because
Yeah.
her experience with gods and visions and that kind of stuff is just they will present themselves as is, and then they will resolve
Mm.
in one way or another, right? And so just having this as a message, and message in whatever form that it comes in, trying to prepare you for what's coming, maybe.
Right.
um and
Or at least give you some insight. But
mm,
again, metaphors and riddles can be tricky, and it can be up to Lindell's what's the word? Perception, not perception.
interpretation.
Interpretation of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
And like I think she knows that at least that these kinds of things are up to interpretation to some degree, and
Yeah.
could be interpreted so many different ways. So
Right. So what would a reuniting with her parents be like for Lindell, or does she think they're dead, or one or the other?
I think she hasn't thought about it for a long time.
Yeah, and she just kind of pushed it off, compartmentalized it.
Mm-hmm,
That's the
mm-hmm.
word that Jenny used a lot for Safkeen, compartmentalize.
Yeah, and I
And,
think that
stored away for later.
because and like I've mentioned this in game before, but now that she has the map, and now that she has the spell slots for it, she could scry on her mom,
Sure. Yeah.
right? And she could try to scry on dad. It wouldn't be as easy, but just in the last few days, last week at most, she's learned how to scry, and she hasn't.
Mm.
And I think part of that is I think she's scared that they're dead, and as long as she doesn't confirm that they're dead, they could still be alive.
Right.
Kind of concept, right?
So she's
And
she's not closing the door on that thread. But are there any threads that she is closing the door on? Like, this is in the past. I want to move forward with short expectations and this new stuff.
uh, I don't think so. And like I think in a way, because she very much wants to go back to Sub One and like check in with the orphanage and check in with friends. And she even mentioned her favorite ramen shop, and she wants to take him
Yeah.
there one time for um and like
I,
I don't
I guess, like, what would be the most Lindell thing to do next?
steal something from mother's place while
Yeah.
she's not looking.
Very, but that makes sense. Very short term in the moment.
Yeah,
Deal with
like
things as they come. You don't even think 5 minutes ahead, much less
yeah.
days.
Right? Like, but part of that I think is maybe a little bit thinking forward, because like yeah, like if mother is being affected by these dark lords and she's running out of energy, well, like if the dark lords are coming for her, they're going to be coming for her stuff. So if we take her stuff, then the dark lords can't take her stuff.
I mean, I guess so. Sure. That's Lindell logic right
Right?
there.
That's Lindell logic right there. That's
Right.
100% it. And or like, what if she takes the crystal ball and then she can have another vision later, and maybe she
Yeah.
works it out a little bit better, right? And
Aside
or sorry, go ahead.
aside from stealing things, though, what do you think Lindell has gained by being with short expectations that she didn't have before?
Oh, I think she's gained definitely like a sense of new family,
Mhm.
right? Um, because like with the orphanage and with the people that she knew on the street, she was kind of like she was like kind of like the older sister to some degree, right? In no one else that she knew of had like found a god and like gotten these magical
Right.
powers. So she was using these powers to like help pickpocket and like
Mm.
help pull well, not oysters, but like shellfish off the walls of the.
Sure, right. For very, mundane, like, basic needs kind of
Yeah, and she was
things.
like exploring to find things to sell
Sure, right.
to the part
To
shop
get
owner.
by. And
Yeah, and so
that's
she
mostly
was.
what it's been about up to this point.
Yeah, and so with Short's expectations, all of a sudden now she has more platinum, gold, silver, even copper,
Yeah,
even that she's ever seen in her whole life.
right, right,
Even when she was younger, like they had some gold, but like never this much.
right,
And so she's still adjusting to the whole like you can buy whatever you want whenever you want.
right. Yeah,
That like like that's just so outside of her brain space. And so that comfort and that safety of being with these
yeah,
people, and never mind her being like the cleric or the healer, whatever you want to call it. Everyone else has their own little healing abilities. Um, but just that safety of like they're being with them, they now have a house that is theirs, and she's on the deed,
right.
and there's this robot that protects the house, and
You have a hireling.
yeah, and I think that's why she's like kind of excited to be like, oh, like let's like get a staff
Mhm,
of
mhm.
people, and like, and I think that's two sides of the coin, because I think part of it is with her wanting to like make that secret compartment beside her room into the mountain is this is a new safe, but she still needs a little bit of that old
Yeah,
safe.
personal space still.
Yeah, because it's an adjustment, and
Mhm.
I think she's excited about it, and I think she feels a little bit guilty too,
Right.
maybe a lot guilty, because she knows there are a lot of people down
I
in
could
Sub
use
One
that money and
that
yeah,
could use even a fraction
sure.
of what she has.
Mhm,
Um, and so I think that yes, so yes, she's very grateful, and it's an adjustment to feeling safe, and she feels a little bit uncomfortable, kind of in her own
mm.
skin, of talking to like the leaders
Sure.
of the city, and like
Lin
normally,
Lindell's been through a huge transformation,
yeah,
going
like
from living in the slums of Sub 1 to, goofy foreteller, lithobolia, brainwashing, child slavery, things that maybe didn't relate to Lindell's backstory even. But now, does it feel more personal? Do you pine for the old days, or are you ready to move forward and explore some things from your past?
I don't think she pines for the old days. I don't think she pines for the days when she didn't know when she was getting her next meal. I don't think
Right,
she misses that,
right,
because this is definitely a better place than that. I think she feels she feels guilty about not being in that place still, and she feels guilty
right,
about the one orphan that got away,
right.
type of thing. Um I think as far as going back, like I think she wants to reconnect and elevate everyone else. Like she wants to help bring everyone else up. But I
Right.
think that's part of like where like getting excited with Carlton Clarence. It's not necessarily the whole having staff to watch the house thing. It's part of she
It's
can help him.
coming up in the world.
Yeah, exactly. He was making one gold a day, and now he's
Yeah,
making one platinum a day, kind of thing.
exactly.
And
So it's
like,
another way of helping out, even though it was a soldier and gold district, but it's still helping out.
he's been through a lot with them.
Right, right.
So
So
yeah, I think going forward, she wants to like make that connection with Kumo. She wants to figure out
yeah,
what Mother's involvement is with all of this. Uh, and yeah, she wants to stay with her friends as much as possible.
mm,
And like protect them and be involved with them. But then also she wants to give back to her community. And that's something
okay.
that I think is every day that goes by that she has all this wealth and ability. I think more and more she wants to give back to her
Mhm.
community.
So what do you think now of Mother? Like, was she what Lindell expected? Everyone kind of mentioned that she wasn't what they expected, but what did Lindell expect?
Hmm. Xavier's mom, but like his creator? Question
Yeah.
mark.
So is this all just cuckoo bananas, or is there something to it?
What does Lindell think?
We know Thomas knows that some of this is important, at least,
Mm,
but to
which is
Lindell, is there any recognition?
I think Lindell has the perspective of, especially coming from like a place where she had a mom and then she kind of had an adopted mom and then she kind of had like another adopted family. Now she's adopted. I think she has a perspective of family is what you make of it. So I definitely think that she believes that the mother son connection between Mother and Xavier is real because family takes so many different forms. Whether that's creator createe or whether like actual birthed or not. But she thinks that family connection is real. Um, as far as and she definitely think mothers knows a lot. She's obviously very involved in the mystic arcanum, whatever you want to call it, right? And she's been possessed by the Stark Lord, so she thinks that as best she can tell that Mother is a force for good, or at least good for them, good for Xavier maybe. Um, as far as like if she trusts her or not, I mean Lindell's pretty trusting of most people.
Yeah, right. Pretty laid back
So
about that.
yeah, she's just, especially being Xavier's mom. Like I don't think she would look twice if
Right.
if she brought out a
No
picture
reason
of
to
you.
suspect her of
Yeah,
anything.
exactly. Yeah,
Right.
that's what I think I'm coming around to. I don't think she has any reason to suspect that she's a bad person. I mean, she's weird
Mm.
throwing them into this vision first
Sure.
thing, but like, usually you give them tea first or something. I don't know.
So what about the rest of Short Expectations? Now that you've made somewhat of a choice-ish at this crossroads, maybe some of your past or future, do you think Short Expectations would be willing to follow you on one of those strands? Is it time? Like we did Xavier's stuff, some of you's stuff. Is it Lindell's turn? Like, would you put your foot down like Xavier did?
I don't think Lindell would ever. I mean, maybe at some point, but I don't think Lindell is a put her foot down.
Mm,
It's time to focus on me thing because she's so
right,
much about helping other people and bringing the other
right.
people up. I think she would probably be like the last one.
Mhm.
Like once we've resolved all the stuff going on, because her stuff is not time sensitive.
Okay.
She has put the loss of her family kind of in this locked box of like Schrodinger's box of they could be
Mhm.
alive, they could be dead,
Yeah,
and
sure.
I've put that away.
Mhm.
And I'm getting all these little clues as to maybe finding more about that. But if I don't find out if they're alive or dead, then they can at least still be alive in my memory, kind of thing, or something like that.
Right, right.
So
And until new information comes along or something
exactly.
like that.
I think she's happy just, or I'm not sure exactly if she's happy about it, but I think she's okay with just collecting these clues kind of as
Mm,
she comes. Um, because I definitely think like Jen's stuff is much more time sensitive. Xavier's stuff is much more time sensitive. I don't know what you and Xavier say, but like little things like she thinks it's more important to scry on Safkeen's sister for her to make sure that
mm,
she's still okay rather than scrying on her own mom.
okay.
So I
That's
don't,
interesting.
yeah, like I don't think that she would ever put her foot down. And I think part of it is because when Lindell imagines that thing that I sent you of,
Mhm.
if she could get some, because she's summoning magic to like summon some pixies or
Mhm.
sprites of some kind, so that she could do that whole basic kind of like Santa Claus, where you like, um, if you leave the fairy lantern out, the fairies come and drop off a little bag of coins for you, kind of
Right.
thing. Um, if she could do that, I think she would probably do it on her own. Like I don't see her convincing Short Expectations to help her.
Right,
And I don't
right.
know why. And I think part of it is because it's like they're working on their own shit and she doesn't want to bother them, maybe. I don't know. Um but
So, are you excited to try and share with the rest of the group in our next role play session what you've learned, or do you think the unreliable narrator effect is just going to be too chaotic to figure out?
oh my gosh. She's going to I think Lindell is with the whole cuz like she's used to getting these like weird symbols from her god. I don't think she's going to be focused on sharing
Hmm.
what she experienced. I think she's going to be focused on the here and now. And she's going
Okay.
to be focused more on like what is mother doing right now? Like she was stirring a
Mm.
pot and like pulling them through this experience. Is she okay? She was possessed by a demon lord for a second there.
So
What the heck is
it's not a priority for Lindell to divulge all the things that she saw, but she would if it was pertinent.
Oh yeah, like if we had time to like sit around and be like, okay, we're safe
Mm.
and we're sitting around all sharing, she would absolutely divulge like anything and or everything. She has no secrets as part of what happened that she would want to hide.
None at all. Like you're not building up to any big reveals for the rest of the party.
I don't think so. Am I supposed to?
No, you don't have
Uh,
to. I'm just curious. Just curious
I
because
think
you guys still largely don't know a lot about each other as
yeah,
characters.
and I think because like the thing, like Lindell's hasn't really been. I think she's been pretty open book when those opportunities have come to like share her backstory and stuff. I think she's been pretty open book. She's not trying to hide anything from anyone.
So then, who's the most mysterious member of Short Expectations? Do you think
Oh,
like telling them your experience, your vision, your secrets about your backstory will
who is
make
more
them more
likely to
forthcoming?
lie or hide a bit about their experience? Is that what
Or
you're
they
asking?
might be more forthcoming if you shared some of yours as well.
Mm, I think that Seth Keen's always been very
Mm.
tight-lipped
Right.
about stuff. Like finding out that she had a sister was huge for
Hmm.
Lindell. Huge. Um, Yu is very brazen, but we don't know a lot about what happened before.
Right.
Um, Jen, we're finding more and more and more about, but she's mysterious. And like,
Right.
because it kind of like took a while to come out, like she was dating this captain, not that just it was her captain.
Mhm.
So like, there's obviously some misdirection that's
Mhm.
happening in what she's telling us from her backstory. Xavier is so blunt and straightforward. It's just what he actually remembers.
Right. Yeah. He's the most unreliable narrator for sure.
Yeah, and I think because I think Xavier doesn't have the wherewithal to be like, this is important, this is not, to try to hide stuff. So
His
I think
perspective is different.
exactly, he just has a different perspective. So I think he
Right.
would share, I had a vision.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. And then, okay, what was it? So, like,
Yeah, like
who in the party would be Lindell's opposite?
L's opposite. Um, mm,
I know you look up to Jen a lot because she's a tall, pretty elf. She has long, white hair, fancy clothes,
yeah, she's like so.
makeup, perfume, instruments, the
Yeah,
whole deal.
she's like, kind of like Jen's kind of like the person that Lindell looks up to her, and I think it's subconscious in that kind of way of like if my parents never left and I got to have a nice upbringing, I might be more like that
But then there's
kind of
like
boy.
unmagical, gruff, not very personable Safkeen who doesn't have any magic, and doesn't have a god. So it's different, right?
I think Saf Keen is probably her most opposite in that Saf Keen is a lot. She loves her friends, which is something they have in common. But Saf Keen is more like for example with a cook when you're like, leave me alone, I'm gonna cook. That's never something Lindell would do.
Chef Beth.
Exactly. Lindell would always like, let's all do this together, or let's be friends and like let's all like
Right.
have a team cooking challenge. If she were to cook, which she doesn't. So that's like a clear
Is
opposite.
that a
And
hint
also
to the DM? I want a cooking challenge episode.
nope, nope, because she would lose. I can guarantee it. Um uh
So, whose backstory is Lindell most interested in pursuing besides her own?
Sorry. So yeah, just to summarize, I think Safkeen is the most opposite. And then also I think it's just because yeah, she's non-magical, she's upfront, and also she's quite gruff. And she's not likely to share stuff.
Right.
She's
But
more
you did
likely to
find
be
out
like
about her sister, which
yeah,
was a big reveal. So, like,
yes.
what does Lindell think about that latest reveal? Is that the most interesting character to pursue right now?
Yes, and so then going to the next question, whose backstory is the most interesting to follow right now? Well, I mean, we're in Mother's hut. Like, I feel
Yeah,
like
sure.
I feel like that's kind of because Xavier's been very forceful about
Mhm.
following his backstory. I think Jen's backstory, as far as Xavier's backstory, we just don't know. And that's the reason why we're here, is because we don't know and we're getting more
Mhm.
information. So I can't really be interested in something I don't know
Sure.
about, but we're here. Jen's backstory, we've got enough treats, enough
Mhm.
snippets, enough like hints about like, oh, but he's in Panopticon. Oh, but we've got this message from him. Oh, but we've got this boat to go rescue him. Oh, but he's involved with this group, but he's not involved. And
Right.
we've there's been a lot of little snippets about her backstory that I think has been drawing interest. Seth Keen, she's got a sister. That's it. She punches
Yeah,
things.
right.
Uh, you, there's a little bit of interest there because when she read you's letter
Mhm.
and she saw you and like delivering it to the, I want to say the faunus. That's not the word. The pharaohs. There we go.
Pharaohs, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you does have a mysterious, and like you was hanging out with her. What was her dad? Her uncle? Who was the one she said she saw on the other side there? Uh, I can't remember off the top
You
of my head.
just you just heard the name Garamond.
Didn't she say it was her dad or something?
Kind of.
I
I think
thought
she
I
said it's kind of my dad.
Lindel would probably just assume it was her dad
Mm.
because that's the way fantasy things work. But yeah, so we've also got some sneaky kind of tidbits about Yu's backstory, but I don't think Yu's backstory has any sort of we need to do this.
Mhm.
Like Lindell needs to find or figure out something about her parents, but she's kind of in denial. Xavier, we need to find out what happened in that blank space. Steph Keen and you, we don't really need to find out anything about their backstories as far as Lindell is aware. And
Right.
Jen is, I think, yeah. So I think Jen's probably the most time sensitive in that we need to. She wants to be with her captain, so we need to rescue him from the jail, type of thing.
So, do you think anything's weird or fishy, no pun intended, about Safkeen being awake when you snap back into Mother's house?
I think like my gut instinct of just seeing her creeping around. Lindell had no questions. She's just like, oh, we're just like snapping out of it in an order or in the speed that we do things, and Safkeen was just the first one. That's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's the order that we played them in.
And Thomas knows that, right?
But
That's just the order that
Lindell
we have to
doesn't
interpret.
suspect
But
anything.
I don't think Lindell. Yeah, I don't think Lindell would, because Seth Keen is not one to hide things that are important,
Mm. So,
right?
do you just kind of switching gears and kind of wrapping
Mm,
things up a little bit?
mm.
The vision as a whole of the museum. What's the biggest takeaway from this experience for Lindell?
She wants to know if the compass and the apple are in her bag.
Mhm.
Um, Biggest other takeaway from the museum.
Was there anything you saw that you think there's a large significance here? I might not understand it yet, but I need to.
Well, I think that yeah, I think the biggest takeaway, unfortunately, is has nothing to do with the museum itself. I think it
Mm.
just has to do with the talking with Mother after.
Right.
The museum was fun. Don't get me wrong. Like
Sure.
I love those little puzzles. Those are kind of cool. But she didn't learn perhaps anything specific about the museum
Right.
other than ghosts are really scary when you're by yourself. Uh,
But that you handled them pretty well by yourself for a few rounds.
yeah, and like because it would have gone a little bit different, I think, if she was in the mind to fight them from the get go.
Well,
I think
and
that would
if not only one of them would have failed the fear.
the turn
Yeah,
undead. I think
the turn undead. Yeah.
she could have faced them maybe like two at a time or something. I think it would have gone
Right.
differently.
Right.
But
That would have made
that
difference.
doesn't that she didn't learn anything from that.
Mm.
Yeah, I think what she took away most is from talking with Mother afterwards in the stew. Um, about the whole the gods are not actually gods. There are dark lords. So I think this is the first time she's really conceptualized that there's some kind of higher conflict going on, or there's some kind of cosmic change going on, something along those lines. Um,
And Lindel's a cleric. So
mhm.
as a cleric, to hear something like that, what does it mean for her faith?
She already knows this. The she always calls them the Spriggan, but she knows that some
Mhm.
people view them as Malleus. She knows the story, like Hughes told the story about the fact of that these were the initial colonizers of the world or something like that. Um, so
The
she knows
founders, as they're known.
founders,
Yeah.
founders, yes. Um, so she knows that there are different perspectives on these people, but she still thinks he's awesome. Um, and I think in a kind of like an adjuster kind of way, uh, that she she is devoted to him and what he's given to her, she could never pay back. So I think in a weird turn of events, if something were to happen that were to put him at risk, she would come to his defense.
What do
And
you
I
think then about what Mother said about the gods?
that they're both vying for her attention, or that
That they're false.
oh, the false gods. I think she kind of like shook that off. She didn't really think about it much because there's already like the fact that they're founders and whatnot. Like she knows that some people view them as just like really powerful humanoids or whatever. So that is like, meh, it's just a different perspective or face of the same being. So, because she knows they're a real being, whether they're a god or not. She knows they're a real being. She
And so it
knows that
doesn't matter for her.
yeah, she doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to her if they have the title of god or not. Like,
Mhm.
eh.
Your faith is strong enough and you've gotten what you want out of the deal.
I think so. And like either way, like they have been someone who supported her in a time of need and when she was really down. And so that is something she holds in the utmost um what's the word? Utmost importance for her,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And yeah. So now that you think about it, I think the ultimate villain might be someone who threatens the Spriggan, someone who threatens Malleus, maybe.
Right.
Because that is someone who, like, don't get me wrong, like, her parents is like one thing, but, and short expectations can handle themselves, or at least in Lindel's mind. But if something were to be powerful enough to threaten Malleus, the Spriggan, as a being, that's something that I think she would rally against.
So if you were to after you awake, um, next session, what would it mean to you if the apple and the compass were either still with you or not?
So because so this is her very simple thought process, right? If the apple and compass are not in her bag, it was 100% illusion. It was a vision bestowed either by mother or by a god, something like that. It was 100% a vision. If they are in her bag, that makes her start to question if it was a vision or if she was actually in another place. And part of that's going to be like, is she still injured gravely or not?
Right, right.
Has she still used up the spell slots? Right? That's going to be kind of part of it. But like, illusions and magic can do that.
Sure.
The key component is whether those things are going to be in her bag or not. And
Right.
if they are in her bag, then that makes her think that like she was brought to another world, which then is a little bit confusing.
Well, then maybe we'll end it with a little tidbit, a little hook, if you will. Go ahead and roll a investigation check for me. One last final roll to
Ugh.
check your bag and see.
Thiavin.
7. You ruffle through your bag, you even tip it out a little bit to dump some of the stuff out. You don't find an apple, you don't find a compass anywhere in the contents of your bag. You are still wounded heavily, and it leaves you feeling conflicted. Was it
Yeah.
real, or did my mind make it real?
Well, and I think with that, if there was no physical object, I think she's pretty certain that it was some kind of illusion, vision, something like that. Because
Right.
she knows that those kinds of things can use up magic and cause damage. But it's that if there was a physical thing, that is
Mhm.
the key for her.
Right.
So
So does it mean anything that there isn't?
if there isn't, then yeah, then it was definitely some kind of uh yeah illusory vision, clairvoyant, something like that. Which just means that as opposed to going to some place real that exists in the multiverse, it was like all in her head, basically.
Mm. All right. Well, I just asked you 40 interview questions, so
Oh my gosh.
congratulations at getting through the gauntlet.
That's a
I
lot of thinking.
I asked Safkeen most of the same kind of questions that kind of lead
Hmm.
you in different directions, just to get a little bit of insight on your thought process as a player. Because a lot of this stuff doesn't come out in role play, so it's helpful for me to hear what Thomas thinks about Lindell and put yourself in her shoes a little bit with some of these big questions, because Lindell might not ever think of them.
Yeah, that's
Right,
a real thing.
right.
Can who did Saf Keen say was like her opposite in the party?
Actually, I think I drafted that one just for you. Um,
Oh,
there were some unique ones. I'll have to go back and watch, but the video is up on YouTube. Once you guys get together with
oh my
your
god.
unreliable narrativing, which will be really fun. After that, I wouldn't mind if you guys watched through each other's, just to, info share a little bit. I don't want anything to get lost because everything is still very enigmatic, metaphorical. Yoda speak riddles. So
Hmm.
it'll help you guys to compile all that together and formulate your next steps. I'm really excited to see where this goes.
Yeah,
All right. Well, Thomas, thank you for joining. That's
yeah,
all
and
for today.
thank you. You just blew my mind with the amount of effort that you put in as far as like connecting this to her backstory and like what's happening with the world and whatnot. Just you're so amazing.
I won't
Blow
lie.
my mind.
Some of it was already written a long time ago, but a lot of it I did have to fill in the blanks as you guys role play. New things come up, and I changed the story to fit the way you guys role play. So, no, it's been a joy just as much for me to watch you guys play through it. So,
And I
thanks
just
again.
want to say I appreciate so much the amount of effort that you put into this game. Like it just every time we play and you come up like with new stuff, it just blows my mind the depth and the breadth of this game that
I
you've made
think
for us.
And I think if it wasn't a homebrew campaign and it didn't start out as, a novel that I'd written a long time ago that was really crappy, if I didn't have that, I think it would be a different experience if it was just like a pre-made, uh, dungeon book that somebody else had written. But I put a lot more of my heart and soul into it, I guess, because it's homebrew. That's what makes homebrew so great.
Well, thank you so much for doing
Yeah.
that.
Thank you, Thomas. It is good to see you as always. So I don't know how many weeks we have left, but I need to get through 3 more of these one shots. So
All right.
I'll
And that
just
was my
keep you guys
next
posted.
question was like when are we resuming normal play? And it's once the one shots are all done, then we resume normal.
Yeah, and it was 7 weeks, so, if I have to hurry up and do them all in a few days, that's fine. It's just whenever, Kit and I still have to record Sada's, and then Brian, I think, is gonna be the one that'll take the longest. I'll probably do his right before, we get back together again,
Yeah.
so anyway, stay posted. I'll,
Okay.
let you guys know when we're playing again, and, yeah, thanks for joining, Thomas.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, keep thinking about all those conspiracy theories, and I'll keep
Yes, so do
throwing
I.
clues at you guys. All right. Well, I'm gonna take off. See you
Okay.
later, Thomas.
See ya.
Bye.